Ciao, ciao,
And
dosto. We are back. We are back with another episode. आपने मेरे चेहरे पे स्माइल देखी है. It is बहुत chances नहीं मिले हैं मुझे ये season to have a smile, but it was a good night. But and we have our in-house interista who is very busy with his own schedule and very busy with Inter's fixtures also. Param, how are you doing, man? Work से
all
थोड़ा
good.
relief मिल रहा है. That's why you are here with us.
Yeah, glad to be on the show as always. Finally, आपको खुश देखने मिल रहा है चिंतन में. मतलब as a friend, so it's good to see. Not as a rival, obviously. Hi, Chintan bhai's son also. They're very happy that AC Milan won. Of course, in quite good fashion, जो हम लोग discuss करेंगे. But good to see a smile on your face finally after so long. For obviously when it comes to the footballing side of things. Otherwise, I'm तो doing well. Yeah, nothing. काम तो चलते रहते हैं. बाकी सब चीजें तो चलती रहती है. Good to be here. 16 people I can see already in the chat. Nice to have you guys here. As the banner says, like, share and subscribe करो. We'll start discussing everything. आज I think mostly मैं और चिंतन भाई रहने वाले. I think DJ भाई might join and Mitul might join, but Ajay भाई and Yogesh are caught up, and even Kaustubh is not available. But let me just quickly, Chintan भाई, see who's in the house
एक्चुअली
first, and then
परम
let's.
रोमा वो अजय मिलान गया हुआ है कौन साहब से मिलने के लिए कि भाई थोड़ा लिंक शेयर कर दो मुझे.
या ऑफ कोर्स संडे को एक तो वो भी मुझे डिस्कस करना है कि मैच संडे को है, ये है वो है. ऑब्वियसली विल डिस्कस ऑल दैट. Swarnim bhai is here. Nice to have you in the chat. I will not repeat what he's saying, of course, for obvious reasons. Not falling for the trap. ये तो इसने अच्छा ये इधर मुझे ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट हार्ट्स दिखा रहा है. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Rahul is here. Nice to have you. Tanishq is also in the house.
आज
Tanmay
आज 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 परम थोड़े मिलानीसी तुमको
ज्यादा
दिखेंगे
होंगे.
स्ट्रीम में. हाँ, क्योंकि वो
हाँ,
बहुत ही अच्छा मूड है हम लोग के लिए. बट या
हाँ. या डेफिनेटली निखिल तो अलग ही लेवल पे. मतलब इतना भी एक्साइटेड आई डोंट नो, बट हाउ आर द ट्रेवल ड्रीम्स गोइंग. अरे मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है भाई. तुम लोग मजे करो, तुम लोग को चांस है. वी एज आई सेड वी आर एम्बिशियस. वी वर एम्बिशियस फॉर द राइट रीजंस. मुझे कोई आई एम नॉट इवन अपसेट एट द टीम. आई कांट बी अपसेट एट द टीम.
ये आंसर
पर
करो
व्हाट
प्लीज. कौस्तुभ's क्वेश्चन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. प्लीज आंसर. व्हाट इज मोर टायरिंग?
डेफिनेटली. अरे ये टफ है यार. मतलब has to be inter schedule still. मतलब I can't,
because
nothing beats that.
because you don't have to go and perform then on the pitch. ऐसा करना नहीं है. You can crash
Yeah,
immediately.
exactly. And I don't have. I think मतलब मेरे को मिखिटारियन जितना एफर्ट नहीं डालना पड़ता. तो मतलब good to see you guys. Hope you are doing well. Says basketball. Nice to have you. Uh, for this was Chintan, Milan fan. Obviously, very happy Milan fans. Yeah, of course. I mean, there is no doubt about that. He's.
Oh yes, yes. I स्वर्णिम यार, do you think I'll give him an option also? So option ही नहीं था.
Yeah.
जब से वो पैदा हुआ, I'll just tell you, he's of course everyone knows his name is also ACM. It was a very
Yeah.
planned move. So नाम में ही AC मिलान है तो option ही नहीं था उसके पास.
हाँ. आई मीन ऑप्शन ही नहीं दिया तो ऑब्वियसली वो तो मतलब एसी मिलान फैन ही बनेगा. एंड ऑब्वियसली इट्स गुड टू सी दो एटलीस्ट वन मोर सेरिया फैन इन द हाउस इन बाय दैट लॉजिक. आई विल कीप ट्राइंग भाई. वो नहीं ज्वाइन करने वाला. मीर से ट्रिपले थे. I can say something AC Milan has never won, bro. That's all I
Nice,
can
nice.
say.
Keep the. वो I was just hoping ये परम भी सामने कुछ banter करे because comments में banter तो आने ही वाले हैं.
वो तो आने
But
वाला है. I mean,
as a
that will
as a
keep
rival,
coming.
it is Param, as a rival. I would say, you know, just from the rivalry sake, it does feel good to stop a team from winning a treble. You know, it
Obviously,
does.
obviously. I mean, that has to be an encouraging. I mean, it's not like that is AC Milan's goal or anything, but obviously, as a rival, you will look at it as a very big morale booster, and obviously that plays into the rivalry and banter side of things. कि हाँ भाई हमने अपने biggest rival का treble जीतने का chance रोक दिया, and obviously in a very good performance. But वो तो discuss करेंगे. We'll discuss it in different segments. I just wanted to see who's in the house. Obviously, the banter will continue. No, not upset. Actually, I'll be very honest. I didn't even feel that upset after the defeat. Obviously, disappointment तो था. Again, we'll discuss it later as when we break down. But I was not even that upset because कहीं ना कहीं तो मैं loss expect बीच में कर रहा था. Unfortunately, it was the Copa Italia final. So lawyers in the group will help us turn. अरे बाप रे भाई, तू हेलास वेरोना का वो चैनल मत कर. मतलब हेलास वेरोना लाजियो कनेक्शन. Okay, this I'm not going to fall for. See, again, you tried. Nice to have you, Swayam. But I think let's get into the discussion, guys. Again, like, share, and subscribe. And I know there are a lot of people, new people that have subscribed. Ek to thank you for all the support because We have now crossed 1.6k subscribers now, so basically now we are getting close to the 2k goal. As always, I can only say like, share, subscribe, spread career. Let's grow this community together. We recently had a collab with Baba as well,
I think say
Rock Baba.
I think तनिष ने बोला है उसका कमेंट मिस हो गया है.
हाँ, मैंने वो स्टार
तो
किया है, मैंने मिस नहीं किया, मैं वो उसको सेगमेंट के लिए बचा रहा हूँ जरा.
हाँ तो
uh,
तनिष जगह से he'll get back to this because इसको भी बात तो
Yeah, I've
करनी है.
started. I've started. Exactly, I've started. I've not missed it. Don't worry. मैंने start करके रखा है already. Nice to have you, Thok and Arav. Let's get into the discussion, guys. थोड़ा discussion चालू करते हैं. Let me start with this only. Since Chintan Bhai is in the mood, let's start with the Copa Italia final. Bologna versus AC Milan is your 2025 Copa Italia final. एक तो before Chintan Bhai get to the AC Milan side of things, let me just, if you don't mind, talk a bit about Bologna, because I mean, Thakla Tenha catching strays. Yeah, I just wanted to, क्योंकि उसने टकला बोला, उधर एक टकला फाइनल में आ गया है obviously. But exactly, but let me give Bologna their flowers for a second before you also do the same and we talk a bit about AC Milan. क्योंकि यार आई थिंक मेरे को बार बार वही चीज नहीं रिपीट करनी है कि हाँ बोलोनिया से अनएक्सपेक्टेड था थोड़ा ये वो, बट इट इज लिजिट क्वाइट द कमबैक जैसे उन्होंने सीजन स्टार्ट किया था. कल के प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ना आफ्टर द गेम, इटालियानो सेड we had set a goal to do well in the competition in the Coppa Italia. Yet now we've done even better. We reached the final and now there is a chance to win it. And there were trust issues. He admitted there were trust issues. There were differences in opinion as within the club. क्योंकि आप चिंतन में जानते हो, हमने सार्टोरी को, ऑब्वियसली जियोनी सार्टोरी जो बोलोनिया का डायरेक्टर है, वन ऑफ एसी मिलान टारगेट्स एटलीस्ट, उसको बहुत प्रेस किया है, राइटली सो, एंड ही डिड नॉट हैव द बेस्ट मार्केट. बोलोनिया डिड नॉट मेक एज मच मनी फ्रॉम सेल्स एज वेल, मतलब बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टेन क्लॉजेस द कालाफियोरी डील. तो टफ लग रहा था. उनके रिप्लेसमेंट्स भी अब देखो तो मार्टिन अर्लिच टू रिप्लेस कालाफियोरी, वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग. इट वाज नॉट लुकिंग गुड. Dalinga came in, got benched by Castro. मतलब it was all looking कि यार ये लोग फिर से लग रहा था, ऐसा लग रहा था यार एक ही सीजन का था, फ्लैश इन द पैन था. बट and we saw it in the Champions League as well. मतलब very disappointing. But despite that, I feel I'll ask you about Italiano separately. But what I have to say is you have to give the team credit for how they've bounced back despite all these struggles. ये सब मोरल पे हिट करता है. तो build a tactical identity or to change it from what Thiago Motta was doing is difficult. It's not easy. And Thiago Motta and Italiano do not play in a similar way. They play very different game.
Yeah.
And Chidar, like, it's just crazy because अगर आप उनका stats भी देखोगे, they've only lost one game at home the entire season at the Dallara. One game, and that to Hellas Verona.
Hellas Verona, yes, exactly.
All clubs कैसे तो भी Hellas Verona से हारे obviously. And 2025 में they're still unbeaten at home. I mean, they gave us a very bitter defeat just not that long ago. Last minute bicycle kick goal by last second bicycle goal kick by Orsolini. And obviously, मतलब यार, I'm running out of praises. 51 years के बाद Coppa Italia final में unbeaten at home in Champions League running. I mean, sure, but European spot भी guaranteed ही लग रहा है, at least Europa League, UCL guaranteed है. So I am just out of words for how this guy has revived confidence in Orsolini.
So if I have to ask you, is this run more impressive than last season's Champions League run, like last season Motta's run?
That's tough because अगर आप देखोगे ना, अगर ऐसे कंपेयर करता हूं, Motta had 2 seasons. उसके पहले भी उसका एक सीजन था जहां उसने सब बिल्ड किया. Italiano,
that's I'm just giving you last season Bologna, जो of course सब लोग बोला पीक पे आए थे, 5th finish किए थे, they can actually finish 3rd. So my question is it just compared season to season? Do you think this season with the how they started, this is a better season than last season?
Yeah, see, यार ये आपका क्वेश्चन मस्त है, बट मेरे लिए कंपेयर करना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है because what I will say is, I'm not saying what Thiago Motta had were world beaters, but वो Thiago Motta का जो last season था ना बोलोनिया में, उसमें ना वो मुझे हर एक Thiago Motta himself, Calafiori, Zirkzee, it all felt like they were trying to prove a point and to get that big move. अब समझ में क्या बोल, like Calafiori wanted a move, he was trying to prove a point, Zirkzee was trying to prove a point. This to me feels up, and I felt they had already reached a certain level. Lukumi, Lukumi still stayed. Boykema, all these guys were looking to do something. And Zirkzee and Calafiori moved on for sure. We saw that.
हाँ
Even your Luis Ferguson was doing extremely well. उसको ऐसे लगा. For me, why this is a bit more difficult in terms of what Italiano has done. इसको पूरा सिस्टम बदलना पड़ा. उसको एवरेज रिक्रूटमेंट भी मिली. मार्टिन अर्लिच, a Serie A, lower table Serie A level player, comes in to replace Calafiori. Not your answer. Lukumi had to step his game up. Boykema had to step his game up. Skorupski, we know, is a decent keeper, but you see even more confidence. Dan and Doy, fantastic last season, but he has gone on to admit that he feels he's playing better under Italiano. Publicly बोल चुका है ये उसके
yeah
words
yes
है.
yes
He feels he's become a bit more prolific. Santiago Castro, Chintan bhai, is, I know South America produces brilliant talent. There is no doubt about that. बट भाई आके सीधा सेरिया में ऐसे ही तोड़ रहा है वो.
मेरे
आप
को
उसके
टेम्परामेंट उसका टेम्परामेंट
हाँ,
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है फॉर सेरिया
या
आके सीधा इज शोइंग ग्रेट टेम्परामेंट फॉर अ
एग्जैक्टली. एंड इफ यू सी
न्यूकमर
हिज शॉट्स, दे आर सो एड्रियानो एस्क. मतलब इतने वो बुलेट
या
शॉट्स उसके आप देखो. मुझे पुराना वो एड्रियानो के शॉट्स देख के आते. एंड हिम, ही बेंच
या
देयर ही बेंच देयर न्यू साइनिंग टाइस डालेंगा.
या
ऑर्सोलिनी का
डालेंगा
कॉन्फिडेंस रिवाइव हुआ. आप and you said this, I feel this is a bit more difficult because Chintan bhai, again he had to rebuild a whole system. Mota had an extra year to build on his system. Then all these players, not such great replacements, I would say, suddenly getting them to play, it's just credit to the guy. And of course I have been one of his biggest critics, and he's proven me wrong. And maybe I hope he continues to prove me wrong, because I want him to stay at Bologna personally from a very objective standpoint. I want him to stay. I know Sartori has also extended his contract. I also want him to stay. आज भी उनके स्पोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर DYO ने, their second sporting director, he also extended his contract. This has to continue, चिंतन भाई. मोटा की वजह से, not वजह से, but you get my point. It all got disrupted last season, and we need more club. अगर हम
या
objectively बात करें चिंतन भाई, we need this internal competition for our league.
या
ये जो Atalanta ने सिस्टम को हिलाया, Bologna has to do it now. Like there is potential to do it, so why not? So I'm just
By the way, I
uh,
I to feel it this season is way more impressive than last season because
yeah
I think people forget this season they came with expectations because
yeah
last season का उनका एक benchmark था. So
हाँ
generally, even had it been Mota also to
हाँ
continue, देखो number one पे एक बार आदमी पहुंच जाता है, but to sustain it over there, that's the difficult part. And Bologna are sustaining it, they're doing better, as you said, change the system, they're doing much better. I think वो change of the year जो उनके लिए हुआ था, where they beat
हाँ
Dortmund in the Champions League, I think that was a turning point for them, because that shows confidence to beat last year's finalists.
yeah
So it was great. I feel हम लोग ने of course परम पता है मैंने और रजय ने already एक stream कर दिया है on
yeah Bologna.
on Bologna. So very impressive and thoroughly deserve to be here. And it's not like I feel मैंने तभी भी stream में बोला था, if you ask me that current form में of course जैसे टीम खेल रही है, I would not. I think they are the favorites to finish top four. They should be.
Fair enough
And after
and
Juventus's loss, yes.
yeah exactly. मतलब I know it is very tight and it's not like Bologna का भी काम आसान है, but यार ये देखो ये 51 years के बाद, एक तो when they qualified for the Champions League last season, that was after 59 years. Now this is after 51 years back in the Coppa Italia final. They have 2 Coppa Italia titles, but obviously that was way back. And
Yeah.
just again kudos to this team, because आपको एक प्रोजेक्ट दिख रहा है जो आपको ना चिंतन में हम ये डिस्कस करते हैं व्हाट्सएप पे, जो आपको फ्योरेंटीना में हम होप करते हैं कि हम इतने साल से बोल रहे थे हाँ फ्योरेंटीना का प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा लग रहा है, अच्छा इतने अच्छे प्लेयर साइन किए, गुडमंडसन साइन किया, इसको साइन किया, गोजेन साइन किया, बट फ्योरेंटीना वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ, डायरेक्ट राइवल्स ऑफ कोर्स, दे with all due respect they felt like pretenders all along, and these guys are turned it around. They've even been more convincing than Lazio in a short span. हमने जो अनुभूति के साथ उस दिन डिस्कस किया था अजय भाई और मैंने. सो फुल क्रेडिट टू देम, मच रिस्पेक्ट. मतलब शिवम का मैंने पोस्ट देखा था, आई नो ही इज इन द चैट अबाउट लुकुमी's परफॉर्मेंस अगेंस्ट इंटर, फैंटास्टिक. मतलब absolutely dominated us, our strikers, and it just fantastic to see what is going on over there. And I hope, as you said, sustain kar paye, because you really need these stories in the league. You need something different, and you need a bit more competition from the objective side of things. Before I get your opinion on Italiano, let me just see what people are saying. Then we can talk about AC Milan, of course. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we?
बाय द वे जो भी बोलोनिया है यार, बेचारे आगे हैं, अभी फाइनल्स हार के बुरा लगेगा उन लोग को, बट होप्स नहीं हारने चाहिए उनको, बिकॉज भाई इतना मतलब इट इज ऑफ कोर्स बिग हर्डल इंटर वाज, बट या इट इज आई एम वेरी माइटिली इम्प्रेसिव, मेरे को वही लग रहा है दैट वो मेंटेन किया है, सब लोग ने जैसा सीजन चालू हुआ था राइट ऑफ ही कर दिया था, बट या
हाँ.
जैसे हम लोग ने तो कैल्सियो चर्चा ने तो ऑफिशियली अपोलोजाइज कर दिया है उसको.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. There was a proper statement from Milan. Maybe the main problem is going for travel is maybe the squad depth, 16 players and going for travel. I would say we are relying on 13, 14 players, not even 16. तो अगर bench का under performance देखेगा तो technically not even 16. But let's discuss that in a bit. Uh, Shivam is obviously joining in on the banter. As
I always knew I loved Shivam, so.
But technically he likes Inter more, so you might have to take that statement back. By the way, I have the chats of him saying that to me, so you might have to take that back. The Copa performance shows that Milan has all potential in the world, just that spark is missing. I don't know if they have all the profiles they need for the team. I kind of disagree with that, Swarnim. Just a difference of opinion. I don't think they have the profiles they need, but I feel obviously it is more of a case of a project gone wrong from the top. मतलब अगर आप वो फर्स्ट हाफ भी देखोगे, इंटर वाज इजीली स्लाइसिंग थ्रू एसी मिलान्स मिडफील्ड रिगार्डलेस. देन AC Milan's defense was good. They waited for their moment. They scored the goal. Inter lost steam, and then that's when they started capitalizing. I still feel there is many things missing in that team, but the potential, I don't disagree. It's not like I agree it's there. I just feel you first need to fix something there is at the top, but there are still holes in that team, at least in my opinion. Tanish says I'm not a Milan fan, but I like them because Zlatan is my favorite player of all time. I'm a Man United fan. Fair enough. I don't think Zlatan though is a very much liked figure right now at AC
Right now,
Milan.
yeah.
नहीं, ये तो मस्त बैंटर चल रहा है, मतलब मुन्ना भाई का ये तो मतलब मैं आफ्टर द गेम आई वाज मोस्टली व्हाट आई वाज डूइंग, आई विल टेल यू, आई वाज जस्ट critical of a few players and then I slept because office रहता है भाई, सुबह को ऑफिस को उठना पड़ता है. Don't have a choice. So Orsolini's goal was crazy for sure. Unfortunately, Bologna continue to be a bad place for us to go. That's why I suggested Eric Ten Hag. Taklas are always superior. Looking for people who called Jovic a donkey. But to be fair, the criticism towards Jovic was more than justified. अभी hindsight में बोलना बहुत आसान रहता है कि मैंने
नहीं, but Param, actually you know what, my only thing is I understand the criticism, but yeah, बहुत unfairly treat किया था ना, उससे नंबर ले लिया था because मोराटा आया था.
I agree.
उसको ऐसे में क्या बोले वो adopted child जैसा treatment थोड़ा मिल गया था, but Conceição's statement was pretty much right. He's been working hard, he's lost weight, so I think उसको जो confidence जो दिया है मैनेजर ने वो थोड़ा अभी रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा है, so that's a good thing. But yeah, you're right,
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. But अगर मुझे कोई बोल रहा है कि उसके एंड से प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं थे, उसके एंड से हॉरिबल परफॉर्मेंसेस नहीं थे, that's wrong. I mean, that's just wrong. He was terrible on a lot of occasions, and he does. अगर आप उसकी हिस्ट्री जाके ट्रेस करो, there are attitude issues and what not. He has clearly he's working towards it now, but this should have happened way before. I'm sorry, like this should have happened like long time ago. So and अगर आप देखो उसने फ्योरेंटीना कैसे छोड़ा ये वो, so you can't just write off all the criticism ऐसे कि looking for people who criticized him or whatever. It was fair, it was more than fair. AC Milan fans themselves were eventually calling for the criticism, so right now he's trying to change himself. Fair play to him, and you never know, he might find himself next season at AC Milan if he just ends the season on a high. But you can't write off the criticism here. Hellas Verona fan Abhijay says we are massive. If Inter win the Scudetto, this match loss would mean absolutely nothing. It'd be more like FA Cup final last year, as it was more important for United. देख भाई, पहले ट्रॉफी आनी चाहिए उसके लिए, अभी तो बहुत क्लोज रेस है, दोनों फ्रंट पे, इट्स अ वेरी क्लोज थिंग. So let's see, यार, it depends on what happens, but kind of I agree with you. Let's see, if we eventually win a trophy, then there's nothing to be upset over. Kostov loves to obviously loves to shoot. Yeah, banter, yeah. Param is playing reverse psychology on Chintan, bro. Banter it. You will not get this chance every day. Yeah, I probably does not understand the dynamic, but it's okay. The recent results from Bologna is much more than the coach or the players, the management. Of course, I think management को praise तो मैंने season के पहले ही किया था. मैंने बोला था it is one of the best managed clubs in the league, and you have, and to be fair, they are, I feel, the most second most informed club right now in the league after Roma. Roma is obviously the most informed, 17 games unbeaten. So you have to give them credit here. Atalanta. This is a good question. Can I star this? I will answer this shortly, Chintan. I'm starring.
Yeah,
I've started.
when we take
Yeah,
the
because I want to
fixtures.
answer that both of us definitely. Um will reach Coppa Italia is better than next season. You, definitely, I didn't get you. What do you mean? I didn't get you. Can you clarify, RS? Definitely, Bologna will reach Coppa Italia is better than. I think you mean Europa League spot. I don't know. You have
No.
to.
I think I don't know. I think he meant
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Bologna's UCL
Clarify,
spot.
kar. Clarify, kar, RS. Someone quoted this: when you shake hands with Milanisti, you wash it right up. और when you ये तो कोट तो ये बहुत इस पे अप्लाई हुआ है भाई, मतलब यश शिंदे says what do you mean sub so early bhai? We have a game against Roma on Sunday, which is अगर आप जानते हो, obviously the Pope passed away, so all the games on Saturday had to be pushed to a Sunday. There is no entertainment on Saturday, so Italy में there is a morning day, and Sunday को match है, which means there is less rest time for Inter to before they play Barcelona. So obviously that coach has to rotate the team. The
बट
team was tired.
इतना भी जल्दी नहीं किया था सब यार. लाइक आई थिंक सेकंड गोल
53rd
के
minute
बाद तो
में
ऑफ
किया.
कोर्स. बट
हाँ.
या आई थिंक उसके बाद ही गोल आया था. बट आई थिंक pretty much he has to look at the condition of the players also. And
Condition, and he was trying to obviously make a change, and you could see यार, मतलब players were half dead, मतलब you could see DiMarco भी कुछ.
I think after a very long time I felt like the goal second goal के बाद लगा इंटर शायद कुछ नहीं कर पाएगी. We have DJ with us.
Yeah, we have DJ bhai with us finally after
What's
a
up?
long time.
Ciao,
अपना in-house Pirlo, the Indian Pirlo,
Indian
the
Pirlo
man
finally.
who plays like the man who plays like one also.
Too kind,
Yeah.
too kind.
We'll get to DJ bhai as well. Orlich was as in the Euros as well. Fair enough. Santiago Castro, please stay away from this. Param guy is trying to poach you. Not my problem. He I know he wants to sign for Inter. Not my problem that Castro himself wants to play for us. Yeah, Benjamin Dominguez also, Chintam, is a very good shout.
Yeah.
Very good
But
talent.
he played. He to started against Inter, right? I think against Inter.
Yeah, but
I was very impressed.
Yeah, very very impressive. You want to answer this like? I
He's
don't know
not,
what to say.
He's not 40, boys.
He's not 40 yet.
I'm next year, bro. I'm only 39 yet. Not
He's
40.
an easy 32, yeah. You guys have to see feel.
Yeah.
थोड़े इसके बाद थोड़ा बाद में लेते हैं. Yeah,
बाद में हाँ last comment and then I'm going to discuss AC Milan. All this praise from Chintan and Param bhai for Italian screens for stinky West Ham United bid in the summer. नहीं जाएगा यार, वो इतने जल्दी नहीं जाएगा. But Chintan भाई, let's Bologna को praise कर लिया. Obviously AC Milan also deserve a lot of credit. We can start with you and DJ bhai. It was obviously a very mature performance, I felt. First half, not that great from you. We were overwhelming you. Obviously, we missed our chances. For some reason, this has been the story in the Milan derby this season. We kind of start well, we miss chances, and then AC Milan obviously make us pay. And that's what exactly happened. And what I personally like to see as a rival from you guys were, I saw that maturity thoda defending में. मतलब thoda, it's like almost you guys took a page from Inter's book in the way we have when we beat you 6 times in a row.
We will.
Yeah,
Guys, there's another podcast we're gonna do it. It's called Culture Charsha, where he's gonna tell us how he maintains his hair, his beard, his fitness. So we're gonna give the spotlight to DJ. We might have a studio. पर हम उसके लिए studio episode कर लेते हैं.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he orders a lot of ingredients from Italy, especially to keep his.
Arey Param, forget this. You guys have not seen when DJ dresses and goes out. Trust me, it really is upsetting for the girls that he's married and he's taken. Sometimes even boys are like, oh, काश हम भी वो तरफ होते. तो DJ भाई के साथ थोड़ा, very smart, very handsome boy, very handsome guy, great footballer, great man.
Now, like well said. मतलब क्या ही बोल सकते हैं.
Sometimes I feel like Param loves me more than my wife. I mean, Chins loves me more than my wife. Yeah.
Of course, bro. I hope you don't ever doubt that.
ये क्लिप हो गया खत्म, स्टोरी खत्म.
Short बनाते इससे.
Short बना दो और क्या. We'll get probably 5K views in like 10 minutes. By the way, अगर आपने हमारे चैनल पे कोमो का शॉट नहीं देखा है, put out by अजय भाई on Asan Dia and Nico Pass. that got like 2K views in 20 minutes. And when I saw that, I thought it's a glitch, DJ bhai. I thought there is something wrong with the algorithm. Kuch to glitch hoga. I
No, it
was,
was very, very interesting. Yeah.
yeah, 2000 views in 20 minutes. I was shocked. But moving on, full praise to AC Milan. I would say it almost felt like they had learned from their defeats to Inter, those 6 consecutive defeats. It almost felt like I was watching Inter play. That like whenever we beat AC Milan, very smart managing of the game, and you guys had us. You guys waited patiently. You guys waited for your moment, made sure we were tired, and made us pay. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. What do you want to say, Chintan? Then DJ Bhai can also give his thoughts.
I first of all, I think this back three has come a little late. I was very surprised that he did not move to back three earlier. I think Kyle Walker injury kind of pushed him back against the wall for two reasons. I would like to say because जो भी formation हम लोग खेल रहे थे 4-2-3-1 या 4-3-3 जो भी गेम में इन गेम चेंजेस हो रहे थे, the midfield was getting bypassed easily. उसमें क्या हो रहा था? Both the centre backs were getting exposed if Theo is caught up front. So my only concern has always been that when they come through the center, a Tomori, Pavlovic या Gabia जो भी दो खेल रहे हैं, they couldn't really push up front और एक ही जन कर रहा था. With this back three formation, I think attacking impetus थोड़ा कम हो गया है. But what happens, as Param you said perfectly, is the defense looks a little more solid. Even against Atlanta, we saw we kind of nullified them decently. Great Atlanta goal, a typical Atlanta Gasparini goal. But it was fairly new. I still think this is the third game we are playing against a back three with a back three, and we played against Atlanta and now Inter. What happens is Theo के जो lapses of concentration होते थे defensive wise, वो एक cover हो रहा है because he gets that freedom to move up front. Alex Jimenez is amazing attacking wise. I think he's a pretty hard working player. इसमें क्या हो रहा है? I think if you saw the game, Param and DJ, Tomori is a very aggressive defender, So he also gets that little bit of license to go ahead to track a player, go follow him, and gives him that much freedom. And you saw Gabia is the one who's got the role of sitting behind, that wo piche baith raha tha. Pavlovic and Tomori were making those moves. And Fofana and Tijani is not Tijani, of course, everyone knows, is not a player who likes to play in a pivot, nor is Fofana. So, उन लोगों को भी थोड़ा, yeah, you saw that Inter were cutting through, but I feel we are still getting used to and adjusted to this back three formation. Pulisic का game थोड़ा sacrifice हो रहा है, मेरे को दिख रहा है. But overall, I feel since it's been 3 games now, I don't mind if we finish the season like this. And I just hope it is a little late. थोड़ा हो गया था. I think this should have been done earlier. तो जो फालतू टोरिनो के सामने losses हुए थे, the games which we drop points, वो शायद नहीं होता. But better late than never. Resurgence of Jovic has been actually very good. Conceição already said it, DJ, that he's been working hard. He's been losing weight. Fitness पे ध्यान दे रहा है. And Theo Hernandez is also bombing up and down. तो उसको एक freedom मिल रहा है. He's not उसके लिए अगर लियाओ को भी track back नहीं करना है because he's covered by Pavlovic. Pavlovic did a pretty decent job. So I was very happy with the performance. And Inter के सामने I think 2 मैनेजर खेल चुके हैं ये season, DJ. 2 different formations. So what happened? I think they've realized one thing, that you can't attack this Inter team. You have to sit back. You have to suffer. वो एक suffer करना पड़ेगा. But I think these players look very motivated against Inter. यार मैंने तो किधर पढ़ा भी था, कोई मीम आ रहा था, if Milan had to play Inter every weekend, we would win the Serie A,
Because Nima ने बोला था, Inter fan Nima was journalist.
Yeah, exactly.
If Milan played Inter,
yeah, but because Param, DJ, what I see is a very, very, very aggressive Milan. The same I'm talking about the first half. Forget this game. The first leg था 1-1 जो था, we were amazing. We were so good in that game, and बाद में Bologna के सामने we were a shadow of our team. क्या हो गया भाई? मतलब in a week, what happened that the Inter के सामने जो Milan आया था and Bologna के सामने जो Milan आया था, 2 different teams. So I guess एक impetus है, but or probably they know that Copa Italia is our only way to get to Europe.
Yeah, of course, that plays a role.
But then again, Param, यार जो इतने losses हुए, draws हुए थे, अगर वो नहीं किया था, we would have still been running for the Champions League. Forget this. We are totally responsible. And I feel I read a lot of comments, and it'll be very sad if we see Conceição leave now, to be very honest. If he wins,
yeah,
and वो खुद बोला था.
Yeah, बोलो.
Param, DJ, what he said, he said that if we do end up winning Coppa Italia, I'm probably the last manager to win
Two
two
titles,
trophies
two
was
trophies. Yeah,
Ancelotti, I think. And
yeah.
it is true. It is true.
Yeah,
And
but there,
people
I mean,
forget, Param,
obviously,
people
yeah,
forget he's come in January. Like, it's not that he was there.
yeah,
He's not had a pre-season also. So
yeah.
it'll be very sad, but knowing this Milan, knowing this management, we like to shoot ourselves in the
The
foot.
the
So,
last time when Ancelotti won those two trophies, एक तो of course those were continental trophies to be fair, एक तो UEFA Super Cup और वो, but obviously even despite being domestic trophies, these two, it would be a huge achievement given that it's not like AC Milan, जैसे मैं बार बार बोलता हूँ, AC Milan after the Scudetto never followed up with any other trophy.
and Param, let's
उसके
not
पहले,
forget
हाँ,
Coppa Italia. The last time Milan won a Coppa Italia was 2003 against Roma. It's been
yeah, ages
23
ago.
years. For a club of Milan stature, this is ridiculous. It is
Milan's
ridiculous.
Yeah, I
won
mean,
how many wins? Milan's won 9 or
no, five,
Yeah,
Coppa Italia,
yeah,
very
five
less,
or six. Yeah, very
very
less.
less.
Inter's
We,
won
As many
9
as
and Roma's won 9, right?
Inter and Roma tied at 9. Then
Right.
you have someone more than there is a club above AC Milan. I keep forgetting. The Torino and AC Milan are tied at 5. Bologna is at 2, and कोई तो है AC Milan के ऊपर. I keep forgetting. I need to pull that list up again. But yeah, the point being, yeah, AC Milan do not really have a lot of Coppa Italia titles, and यार ये जो लोग बोलते हैं Mickey Mouse Trophy and all that, I don't agree with personally. I
No,
mean, it
yeah,
is,
I don't agree also. I mean,
yeah, I
maybe in
mean,
the early 2000s, Juve, Milan, Inter were treated like a Mickey Mouse trophy. But I think
yeah,
given, what our CL outings have been of late, the
yeah,
Copa is important. Yeah, I mean, it's you're playing for pride. I think also
exactly,
Milan
and
are more a cup team, so to speak. So, you always see that DNA emerge, whether in the Copa or in the Champions League, etc. I think Chin's covered most of the points from a Milan point of view. I just think like Conceição also it's this last throw of the dice, which is why, like you said, this it's coming a little too late. So there's a little
yeah.
nostalgia, like he's cracked the code, but I'm still not convinced, Chins, because for me, Conceição, I don't see him as a man manager. Like I've not been
yeah,
impressed with him in these 6 months, and these 6 months actually are a good preview for what will happen over the course of the season. You know, you can't be falling out with players, you can't throw them under the bus. That said, I think what is really coming to the fore is every time we see Milan do well, and I think this game in particular, this fixture is a bit of a, what do you say? It's a one-off because Milan are now really Inter's bogey team, you know, in the last couple of years. So like I wouldn't judge it all basis this, but I think it's you see like you see a lot of like individual talent coming to the fore in these games.
yeah,
So I think when we and this is going to apply to both Juve and Milan in the off season, I feel like a lot of players are going to be moving out. So for you to
yeah,
come back and then analyze whether this three-man defense is really the way forward, also depending on who the coach ends up being. Like I for me, like the only guys that really have caught my eye and stayed with it are Tijani, and I personally like Fofana. I don't know how you
yeah,
feel about him.
Yeah.
Tijani is the mainstay of this team,
yeah, 100%.
Agreed. Agreed.
So
No, but
and
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
Go
sir,
ahead.
I think Jovic is he's a guy that again I feel like he's a big game player and he shows up, but again if you want to win the league, I'm not sure that he's the guy who's leading the
Yeah,
line.
for sure.
Um,
Plus,
so
I think when it comes to Conceição, however great he's a man, like great manager, he might be tactician especially. Now it feels like Milan also like to hire a manager with a certain kind of style of play. I'm talking
yeah,
about. I
yeah,
probably think he might not fit into this mold when it comes to Milan. I think a Conceição would be amazing for an Inter team.
yeah,
Like a Diego
yeah,
Simeone,
yeah,
Conceição are very Inter-esque managers. Those
yeah.
hard teams to beat. Those. So I feel he's not a Milan manager, but if he does end up getting a trophy for us and getting us to Europe, nothing like it. But
But the
let's
thing
not
is
forget,
again,
I was the one who said I want Conceição. But as you said, DG, I don't think he's a man manager. I think he's doesn't have the dressing room with him. That's what I feel.
No,
yeah,
I kind of just disagree with that. Again, like I feel personally because again, as someone who watched him in Porto days, uska man management is what basically carries him. Now, obviously, here it's a different case because either he came into an AC Milan that was in turmoil, and obviously it's not like everybody is on the same page with him. But when he came in, Super Copa जीता. To do that, it's not easy. I mean, it takes an element of man.
Yeah.
Like at Porto, I can tell you like simple story, long story short. Again, Portuguese clubs being in financial difficulties and whatnot, almost every summer losing kind of best of his players, kind of having a weaker squad every season. What he did best was basically his man management. Not to say tactically acha nahi, or tactically obviously he's good, but his man management allowed him to squeeze the best out of even like reserve players, reserve
Yeah.
third choice players. I'm not even talking about youngsters. I'm talking about 30 plus year old third choice players and all that. And that's how he basically ended up doing so well and ended up winning so many league titles with Porto, domestic cups, Champions League, Europa League में भी ठीक किया. So there is that element of man management in him for sure, but there is a limit also to, like, because he likes to, basically he will not shy away, he will take it to the people he has to argue with, he will make himself heard. So there is a limit to how much of that works though. Like at the, you can only create so much drama if you need to, and obviously
But
AC Milan is not.
also, Param, to your point, we have to take into account that this Milan team is not his team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So,
not his. Porto
वो
was
भी
his.
वो
Yeah,
भी वो disconnect है,
I agree,
at the
I
get-go.
agree.
And
I
the
know, I
second
agree
thing,
with.
to your point, you're quite right, because, but also Conceição's upside. You look at the positive. He does bring in that little injection of attitude. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
kind of like
Winning
what a Conte
mentality.
does, right? Like
yeah,
Conte
yeah.
comes and infuses that team with that right attitude. Conceição has that in him as well.
Hmm.
But it's like what both you and Chins have said. The thing is, it has to be his team for it to really work. You know,
Hmm.
he can't do it in a team where he doesn't have the dressing room. He's come in mid-season. Very hard to see Conceição's work per se. Like for me, like this Milan, every time like they've done well under him, it's been more individual brilliance than
Hmm.
Conceição's tactical flexibility or
I, I
tactical.
I agree. See, this is not his AC Milan, obviously. Because that obviously, I think he's a goner. I mean, I don't think he stays. I mean,
You never know,
if
yeah. I feel like if they win the Coppa, at least he's
maybe,
at
yeah.
the table in that. क्योंकि उनके options क्या है? There's Italiano and there's Conte. At least the way I see it. और कौन है?
Yeah, I mean, Allegri is still being discussed, but you never know. I mean,
No, yeah.
I
I
I
feel
don't
don't
know.
think
like
Milan
he's
will go with
headed
Allegri.
for
Then they
Roma.
stick with
I don't know. I
Conceição.
feel like he's headed to Roma. That's just the
Possible.
vibe I get.
I mean, even Italiano, to be fair, is difficult. Yeah, मतलब Italiano भी, again, I have a feeling he ends up staying, but again, that's a whole different matter. I feel we can move on from this Copa Italia discussion. I think it was a good one. Like I
I
feel,
think I think Param वो fixture list upload कर दे यार. It is so
yeah, I'll show
juicy.
this. So before we obviously change the point of discussion, एक चीज, uh, actually let's tie it into that, because I want to talk about the European race before we talk about the Scudetto, the
Exactly. That's
Scudetto
why I'm
clash.
saying, because you're talking about Coppa Italia, Milan का तो only hope is to
Milan का
come
तो,
through
yeah, but let me
Coppa
just,
Italia.
yeah. So we
VJ,
talk
you have
about,
to see this.
yeah, who will qualify for Europe. So comments पे मैं आऊँगा again. We have 28 people watching, guys. Do like, share, and subscribe. DJ bhai, we have had a lot of subscribers over the last week. मतलब we've crossed 1.6k. Thankful to everyone. Very very, we appreciate all the support. So all the 30 people watching here, do like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. We'll come to the comment shortly. So this is what Chintan bhai is talking about. Just give me 1 second. I'll just pull it up. Here it is. The fixture list for all those involved in Europe. I hope this is visible.
Yeah, let me open.
दिख
Yes,
रहा
yes.
है?
थोड़ा zoom in कर ले यार. थोड़ा zoom in कर ले. We'll
हाँ,
take
मतलब और
one by one.
हाँ, वन बाय वन, मतलब अगर आप ठीक है, वन बाय वन ले लेते. स्कूडेटो क्लैश 2, दो तीम एक साथ ले लेते हैं, आई गेस 2 या 3 जो भी है. स्कूडेटो क्लैश से चालू करो. मैच डे 34 से ही चालू हो रहा है, व्हिच इज क्वाइट करेक्ट. So you obviously have Inter and Napoli. You see the fixture list. Inter play Roma at home on Sunday. Napoli face Torino. Then Inter play Verona. Napoli play Lecce. Inter will play Torino. Napoli play Genoa. Inter play Lazio and Como towards the end. Napoli play Parma and Cagliari towards the end. And obviously बीच में इंटर के लिए CL गेम्स भी आते हैं. चिंतन में नापोली के लिए ऑब्वियसली कोई कमिटमेंट है नहीं. कोपा
Yeah.
इटालिया वो तो ऑब्वियसली वो तो AC मिलान के लिए एज शोन हियर, वो तो उस पे आएंगे. बट yeah, so quite obviously you can already see how hectic one schedule is. But we move on, DJ bhai, we see Atalanta and Bologna's schedule and UA's schedule, since obviously let's look at all this together, because Atalanta, Bologna, UA, Lazio, Roma, all involved in that European spot race.
Yeah.
Look, just look at this. मतलब
You
I'm
want
not
to
going to
you want to finish that title race first. वो खत्म कर
sure.
लेते हैं.
Yeah,
My DJ, like, and I'll come to DJ and Param, because of course it's Inter we're talking about here. I'll come to Param afterwards. DJ, Roma next. You see the fixture: Verona, Torino, Lazio, Como. Okay, Como, I know of course it's difficult. Lazio को तो I think Inter thrash कर लिया था already एक बार. Do you think this match day 34 can be a title decider?
It is defining, at least for the momentum into the last run in, because look, yeah, Conte's week is relatively free. He's got an easier run in. He's got the temperament, I think more so than Inzaghi in that sense. But also, what's most telling is coaches apart is Inter's also running out of steam. They're looking very, very exhausted.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
and I personally, I don't know, I think Inzaghi, I know where he's coming from, that we need to go guns blazing because it's a temperamental decision that he's making, where he's fielding a
Hmm.
full squad against Milan, knowing what's coming next, with the
Hmm.
Copa semis. I feel like he should have rested a few players. You can see that fatigue on the field. You can see it with, I personally felt, while I saw the match in glimpses, I felt like Lautaro had a good chance, but like
yeah,
he
Yeah.
really, it's more fatigue than anything else. And I think fatigue also has, it has a momentum, so to speak, and I think that, like, if this Roma game goes south, there can also be a it's a position of a mental collapse, right? Like,
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
season
yeah,
is just beginning to fall apart. You've lost the Copa. You're beginning to
Hmm.
think, yeah, the Scudetto is also over. That then
Hmm.
filters down into your Barca game, you know because
yeah,
also,
Yeah.
unfortunately, these are all very close. Like, I think the Barca games couldn't have come at a worse time for Inter. But again, look, you're the champion team of Italy, right? Like, if you don't show it now, when will you? So
Fair point. More than fair.
this is
Yeah.
where I feel like the players' experience and their management in game is going to make a big difference. I
Hmm.
don't think after Roma, I don't think Inzaghi is going to have a big role to play, in Inter's run-in. It's going to
Hmm.
come down to uh, players managing themselves within the games, no matter who starts, you know.
Fair enough. I'll
Uh,
just pull that. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Complete. I'll just pull that
and
up
that
again.
said, I think, of course, Chins, to your point, Roma is a very important game. They're the team of 2025, yeah, to be
yeah,
honest.
exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. They are the
to
best,
beat,
most informed team. Yeah.
like in form. They've got the most points, most consistent. They're winning everything. I think there's only been a couple of draws in this uh
Yeah, only a few
25 run
draws.
of the year. So I think, like Roma, and again, right, like, let's look at the upside. Inter beat Roma, and suddenly there's momentum for both the Champions League and the Scudetto.
Hmm.
You're going
Exactly.
in there. Napoli Torino, I do feel like it'll be a tight game, but I think Napoli will get it over the line.
Uh,
This run in for Napoli is fully Conte. Okay, it's
Yeah,
ironic,
yeah,
but the run in for Inter is the players, not Inzaghi. That's the irony of this whole thing, because
yeah.
Inter's just, they're running on like fumes, yeah, and Conte
yeah.
is that juice. He's a steroid shot which will just like keep going
E-
and going.
Yeah, even
Exactly. और
I
एक
feel
चीज
I feel like before I come
Hmm.
to Param, even I feel like this match is not from the Napoli, sorry, Inter Roma point of view. I think that only place I feel you can see Napoli dropping points might just be Torino, or probably more or less Genoa here or there. But I think Torino is the game where even Napoli might drop points. But Param, coming to you, I'm going to ask
Hmm.
you a very, very harsh, bitter question, probably your deepest dark fear. I'm going to pounce on that this week. I'm talking about from the Copa Italia to the first leg of Barca
Hmm.
semi-finals.
Hmm.
Is there
Hmm.
a very imminent fear that you might even go trophyless this season if this week turns out bad for us?
Yeah, I mean, see, मैं तो वो possibility पहले ही discuss कर चुका हूँ because I know everybody is always ready to pounce.
You're prepared
To
for the worst.
we see you as a fan, you always prepare for the possibility of anything. I think मैंने बहुत पहले ही अजय भाई के साथ एक स्ट्रीम में बोला था, either you can win one trophy, two, three, zero, anything. It can go anyhow. And as a fan, though, personally, I acknowledge that no worries over there because I have seen Inter in worse positions before. I think for me, what obviously at the end of the day, what do people remember? जो हम बार बार बोलते हैं, people remember when you win trophies. I understand that.
Yeah,
But for me, the, see, we are the, with all due respect to every other club in Italy, we are the only one who have been claiming from before the season, even before the season began, ki we have to try aim to win every trophy. That's what
yeah,
we've been publicly saying. अगर आप जो भी
Yeah.
Go watch any Marotta conference, go watch any Simone Inzaghi interview, go watch any players interview, because there is that self belief there. They know that एक level पहुंच गए हैं, or you can't aim for anything less. Then there is no point. There is no ambition there. You have to show that ambition. Then
Yeah,
at
of
the end
course,
of the
no
day,
doubt about it.
exactly. And as Marotta said, we will try to put our best foot forward in every competition. And if we don't win a certain competition, or if we don't win anything, we congratulate the opponent and we move on. We look forward to the next season. As simple as that. Obviously, as a fan, disappointment होता है आप जब कोई ट्रॉफी नहीं जीत पाते हो. अगर आप ट्रॉफी लेस जाओगे क्या पता आपको. But the thing is, it is very, क्या बोलते हैं, I'll say it's outright stupid to not aim for all trophies, because आपको पता है अगर आप ही एक टीम इटली से कर पाते तो आपको ट्राई करना पड़ता है. एसी मिलान के अगेंस्ट भी सेमीफाइनल में वही था. We had to give it a shot despite the schedule. It's a matter of pride. आप बोल सकते हो it's logic versus pride कि maybe you play rest the team even more and kind of then lose चलेगा. But at that point you're in the semi-final. You're not playing the round of 16. Once you're in the semi-final, you have to give it your best shot. मतलब you can't back off from there. So again, we tried in the Super Copa final, didn't work out. We tried in the Copa Italia, didn't work out. But the thing is, there's an element of pride, there is an element of
I
ambition
know.
which you can't. Exactly.
No,
So वो,
my point, you're absolutely right about that. But knowing the team Inter is, and I'm
हाँ,
talking about knowing how great a manager is. Like, Simone, I think you can say probably is one of the best right now in the world. Uh, I feel like if you do end up losing the league
hmm,
or the Champions League, might be because of fatigue, not because you're not there with the best. So,
हाँ,
what DJ said, I'm going to ask you that question. I know it was a
hmm,
derby, I know it was Milan,
yeah,
and I know you were chasing the treble, but
हाँ,
because Roma and Barca are so close, would you
hmm.
think it would have been better to prioritize Champions League more than Copa? मतलब अगर you तू
No, no,
होता तू had
I
you
under,
if you would have benched someone else from this team ये जो start
see,
किया against Milan.
I agree with you where you both of you are coming from कि आप देखो उसने ऑलरेडी एक तो थोड़ा रोटेट किया था. लेट्स बी फेयर. मतलब
Yeah,
Taremi had played. एक
Bisek.
तो obviously I was hoping वही गेम हो Taremi का. Every time he starts I'm hoping कि this is the game he'll finally do well. Unfortunately did not happen again. Bisek played, De Vrij played. Bisek was probably man of the match. मतलब our best player in that. You saw it how he silenced Leao
Yeah,
for the most part.
yeah, completely.
Uh, exactly. मतलब, but Bastoni had to play because he's suspended to on
Suspend,
Sunday
yeah,
against
exactly.
Roma. Exactly. Mkhitaryan had to play because he's suspended against
Suspended.
Roma. Exactly, which means Pratezi, Augusto will start. So उनको आपको रेस्ट करना था. So एक तो उसके पास ऑप्शंस भी नहीं थे. मतलब Dumfries he has just returned from injury today. Zielinski has just returned from injury today. Thuram is in a race against time to be fit against for Barcelona. So ऑप्शंस भी कम थे. डार्मियान इज प्लेइंग एट राइट विंग बैक वीक इन वीक आउट. Zalewski अभी भी अडेप्ट हो रहे हैं. तो while he could have made rotations, he even started Aslani. To be fair, Josep Martinez भी गोल में खेला. तो to be fair, in my opinion, whatever rotations he could have made, he did. उसके अलावा करते तो आप रोमा गेम को थोड़ा jeopardize करते. And I feel that is kind of obviously more important. The
Yeah,
thing
of
is,
course.
Chintan, कैसा है ना, I agree because हमारे fan base पे भी ये discussion चलता है. What should you prioritize? Obviously, you can clearly prioritize because आप दो बार सिमोने इंजागी के साथ कोपा इटालिया जीत चुके हो. You already have won it twice. You don't have to kind of give it that much priority. And Scudetto is generally a more important trophy, so you obviously focus more on it. बट एक वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर आप कोई भी इंटरव्यू देखो टीम में प्लेयर्स का कोच का, दे रियली वांटेड दैट ट्रेबल. मतलब इट
Of
वाज अ
course.
मैटर ऑफ प्राइड. एग्जैक्टली. एंड दे सेड वो जो बोलोनिया के अगेंस्ट जो लास्ट मिनट गोल कंसीड किया व्हिच डीजे मस्ट हैव सीन एज वेल, बाइसिकल किक. बीसेक को बहुत क्रिटिसिज्म मिला था. यू सॉ मी रैंट अबाउट बीसेक एज वेल. बट
Yeah, man,
डीमार्को,
unfair, yeah,
yeah, unfair,
very
a bit
unfair,
unfair for sure. Dimarco was
bit
also
harsh.
at fault. Yeah, Dimarco was at fault because he left Orsolini unmarked. But what Barella said after that game is like कि भाई 2 मिनट के concentration के लिए ना आप fatigue का reason नहीं दे सकते. Which this is where the players stand. Like in actuality, the fatigue is there because we know Chintan में fatigue leads to lapses in concentration.
Of course.
Whether it's
वो
a
जो
matter of
Muller का, I think that
हाँ,
Muller का goal was fatigue.
Muller का
And
goal, exactly.
also that moment with Orsolini scored, I think it's the only time, Param, in our lives where we are
हाँ,
aligned, where we both felt like we lost.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's the
Yeah,
only
Even
time in our lives where that moment has aligned. It's a special moment as a Juve
yeah,
fan. It
yeah,
felt like a loss. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
exactly.
That was
Yeah.
the Orsolini of all people.
Exactly,
Uh,
and it's quite funny. Yeah, that's very very rare occasion where Inter and UA fans align
I think
on their
all
one.
forget. I think pura Roma be, may be. I think all of us were rooting for Inter that game because
Yeah,
we want, yeah, even Milan. I know however far we are, we want Bologna to drop a team to drop
draw
that. But
points.
Param,
Italian.
एक funny question पूछता हूँ. Let's remove Milan. Had Milan not been in the Champions League semis,
yeah,
okay,
I
Uh,
had the
had it
same
been in some
question.
other
Yeah,
team,
yeah,
I think rotation ज़्यादा होता, even both the legs.
definitely, definitely.
you कोपा का semis ना यार definitely. I
Yeah.
mean अगर कोई और होता तो I definitely see that happening. अगर let's say yeah, I mean I don't deny that. Only thing is that
I,
I mean
I
जैसा
mean,
बोल
अगर Juve होता, maybe again not. Juve or Milan, I feel not. But
we have a
anyone else,
we
I
have a
think.
very bad record against UA in general. यार UA के against तो rotation is not even a question. DJ भाई मतलब we don't have a good record against you guys. And this season again, you see Inter's record against the top teams, against barring Atalanta, it's and Roma. Obviously, the first leg against Roma, that being, it's not been good. I'll be honest, and Lazio, of course, ये तीन team को छोड़ के
But
not
Param,
done
wo
well
chhod
against.
ke, because see, the league is one with how you're dealing with the Parmas and the Comos and the
Yeah,
Torinos.
yeah, but
And Inter has been consistent on that front. The only thing I think, like this Roma match is more defining for Inter than the Torino match is defining for Napoli. You
yeah,
Yeah.
know,
fair.
because
Yeah,
you're beaten there, that fatigue will just go into the system. But you win there, you have, you've got legs for three more games because
mm,
winning also gives you that adrenaline rush, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
does a
Agreed.
loss because the loss starts to make you nervous. You start to
Yeah,
make like human errors,
yeah,
individual
yeah.
mistakes and things like that. So I feel that's where, and also, guys, let's be real. I do think Inzaghi is also going to rest players for in the Roma game. That's my take. I could be
Okay.
mistaken, but I do feel
But
that the
Yeah,
Param,
there
it
rotation.
is
there is
Bastoni and Mkhitaryan are going to be
suspended.
not playing because suspended hai. So anyways, they're getting the good
And
rest needed.
on that
I think
note, we,
Barella.
we have we
Uh,
have Ajay Bhai also in the chat. He says missing the stream, boys. For Ajay Bhai, I just want to drop this news that Korea might start against Roma. So that's already like playing with 10 men. Like his performance against Bologna was atrocious. I felt like अगर मैं एक क्या पता अनफिट कोई लोकल स्ट्रीट फुटबॉलर को मुंबई से उठा के डाल देता, he would have played better than Joaquin Correa. Like there was a atrocious display. Like he could not control a single ball. उसको like don't even get me started. Like horrible
I
player.
think वो sharpness है यार Param.
Like
See,
there is no defending that player. Yeah, like just a
it's not
terrible.
like, I mean, I can imagine you're saying this about Vlahovic, right? But I think like Korea is what, yeah, he's like a lunar eclipse. Yeah. How often do you see him? You know,
yeah,
Oh, but that's the point, right? You don't see him because he's that
but
bad.
he's lacking that sharpness, But what do you do in moments like this? Look, again, I wouldn't blame Inzaghi for stuff like that, right?
No,
What's
no,
going to be
I'm not
interesting?
believing.
You feel Aslani will start against Roma?
No chance. Hakan has to play. I mean, I know Barca game is there, but the trust on Aslani is not there. He
It's not
just
there.
can't
Yeah.
replicate that. Yeah, not there. That's the problem, right? That's what I said earlier before you joined DJ. By technically, ऐसा लगता है इंटर की deep squad है, which is fair. I do feel it's a deep squad, but technically only 11 to 13 players have really delivered, and that
But
is
but but to be fair, again, it is a deep squad. Why we are
I agree.
questioning how deep the squad is only because of the fact that the domestic title has gone down to the wire. If you had
Yeah,
a little bit more breathing room, if you were +4 in this moment, this is a deep squad. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
No, I agree. I get what you mean.
It's a little function of what's happening domestically.
No, I
Uh,
agree with you. I do think the quality is there, but it's just that some players have not been able to perform. Your Fratesi is not consistent, does not suit the system. Unfortunate. Taremi, huge
Also, he
disappointment.
knows he's on the market. Now, Fratesi knows he's on the
Yeah,
market. I feel like you see him, he never looks motivated ever.
yeah,
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 exactly.
exactly.
But so
And
you can
unfortunately,
say you are missing Zelensky because at this moment a fit
oh boy,
Zelensky would have made a huge
exactly.
difference.
Yeah, his hip injury made a big difference. Dumfries, best player, Inter's best player in
Yeah.
2025, suddenly gets injured. Unfortunately, obviously, then it makes a difference. But I think Scudetto race हमने pretty much बात
Yeah.
कर लिया.
नहीं,
Let's
but
wrap up.
चलो, I'll not ask you, Param, because I don't want you to get up. DJ, do you think Inter are getting through Roma? I'm just going to ask you your prediction. Like, do you think they're getting through Roma?
Very hard, yeah, Chins, to answer this because I feel like They have one last push in them. I don't know where it will show up, whether that will show up against Roma or Barca. They have one last push to keep that adrenaline going. I don't think they have the consistency anymore. I think there is fatigue in their legs. There is going to be individual errors. Like I said, it's now out of Inzaghi's hands. A lot of it is going to come down to the mentality, the champion mentality of the players and how they manage themselves. More importantly, this team has to learn to stay humble. If the arrogance begins to get to them, they will just mentally collapse and there's no coming back because they don't have very able leaders in this team. You don't see the Chiellinis and Bazaglis of the world. You have,
Yeah,
I personally think Bastoni is a future leader, but at the moment, like Param had once said, he stays within his role, he does his role, he's happy. Same with
yeah.
Barella.
Barella, yeah,
Lautaro
exactly.
is a guy who tries to lift everyone up, but when it doesn't go well, he's the first to collapse, and then that has a downward spiral for the rest
Cascading
of the
effect, yeah, yeah.
so I feel like since it's a hard one to call, I think Inter's going to start slow and they're going to play like a cat and mouse watch counter attacking catenaccio kind of game. I don't think they're going to run the legs off Roma. Roma is going to go hard, but I feel like Inter will score against the run of play. I don't know if Roma have a goal in them, but let's see. Let's see. Yeah,
Interesting. We
conservatively, given how things are, I think it would be a draw. But if Inter lose, then cat among the pigeons for their season at large.
Param, I'm not going to ask you this question. So let's go to the European race, which
just
DJ is
before
very
that, very
excited.
quickly, just before that, एक चीज नापोली के बारे में मुझे बोलनी है. थोड़ा, even if their performances have not been great
Up,
per se, if you see,
yeah,
right? अगर आप games देखोगे, it has not been great. Below थोड़ा subpar with Conte going crazy, calling out De Laurentiis, abusing DJ Bhai had pointed this out on the group chat, abusing the traveling fans. He's having this outburst, but despite that, the players are doing a great job. I would say McTominay on
yeah.
fire, मतलब
Unbelievable.
crazy,
Inside
unbelievable.
news, guys. I don't know. I don't know how far it's true. Just inside news percolating in the Juve forums
Yeah,
and groups and ultras, etc. Uh, Already there is a pre-signature with Conte. He's coming back. That's the talk. I don't know if it's true, which is perhaps
the
why the rant, which is why
if
perhaps the rant happened at Naples to set up this season is it and I'm moving out. I don't know if
if
it's true. Don't hold me to it. Just
no,
giving
no, we're
you the
not. I won't hold you to it because obviously anything can happen. But if that happens, right, we will have to do like a live stream of a boxing match between you and Yogesh. Arrange some ring, something. We can have a special guest announcer, commentary table. कुछ ना कुछ
Del
करना
Monte,
पड़ेगा.
Del
हाँ?
Monte,
Del
Del
Monte.
Monte. In the
Call
cow
it a
corner, we
boxing match.
have
We have
But
to
Dhananjay.
the
just
funny thing is, guys, I mean, this deserves a separate episode only to itself because the talk is
yes,
it's either Tudor, Gasperini, or Conte. Some people
yeah,
are saying it's already done with Conte, it's already signed, which is why he's throwing this fit,
yeah,
to kind of start setting people. It's so typical of him to kind of like, start saying his goodbyes, sort of thing. Uh, the
yeah.
only thing that I don't understand for the life of me, why he did that before the Monza match day. I just don't get it. You're in the title race.
Yeah.
You're in
Mm.
it. Like
Exactly,
with
you're
a
there.
And by the way, they just scraped through that game. Huh? I think it was pretty close.
yeah,
Monza
Yeah,
but
it
why
game
was
do
was
you
close
pretty.
put
against
yourself in the
Monza.
foot? I mean, like, here's your chance. At least win now while you're at it.
या मेरे को याद है जब वो इंटर का स्कूडेटो जीता था, सॉरी नॉट द स्कूडेटो, व्हेन वी फिनिश सेकंड 1920 में, even when he ranted, he waited until the last match day when we beat Atalanta away and then he ranted. This is different.
But
He's
again,
already
yeah,
ranted.
Param, like Inter and Napoli, Tifosi are different, so to speak, right? Like
Fair, fair.
his rivalry with them as a Juventino is also different, perhaps,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of that comes into play, maybe.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and
chalo.
also what I will say is, just to close the Napoli side, is I can see the confidence in players growing. Like especially Lobotka recently just said not that long ago that obviously right now it's in our hands. We know what needs to be done. You can see the confidence is growing a lot. It's the players that seem a bit more optimistic. Bar you keep hearing the narrative that whenever Conte throws a tantrum, he's just trying to deflect the pressure. I think we are past that. I think he's kind of losing the plot, but I feel it's the players really now kind of
Carrying
fueled
it.
by. Yeah, I feel players are fueled by Conte and they're carrying it mainly. और एंड में जो होना है वो होगा, बट यू कैन नॉट राइट नापोली आउट ऑफ द स्कूडेटो रेस बाय एनी मींस, लाइक इट, you know it, they have a
No,
favorable
yeah,
match.
I mean, like to be fair, if you're level on points with 5 to play, it's
Yeah,
anybody's race now. You know,
yeah, they can move
Inter
on.
still have the edge. If they have the adrenaline, I think they'll win it. But it comes down to the adrenaline.
Hmm.
Fatigue means then, of course, it's clearly in Conte's favor given the rest.
Yeah, yeah.
I let's go on here. I don't know why have we included Milan over here. Look at, we're like fallen behind like so badly. We're like 51 points. I don't think Milan stand a chance. But yeah, just look at
Since
those fixtures. Yeah, when I
Milan
look at
के लिए
Roma,
also we discussed, if you remember, we said ना वो fatigue आ गया है, that ninth place to fourth place, even if the points is less, ना, it's a big jump mentally for players.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and
like
now
I feel
they've
like
made, I think they've made Copa Italia their route now. I think they've done that.
you saw the energy was so different, yeah, in the Copa
Yeah,
as against when you
Yeah.
see them in the league. Very different
yeah,
energy.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
And
now let's discuss this. We have Atlanta, Bologna, Juventus. Right now, Atlanta and Bologna have taken the third and the
Lazio
fourth
as well.
spot.
You can include up until
No,
Lazio,
I'm
Roma
just
to be
saying that
fair.
right now, third and fourth, it's 64-60. And we have Juventus, who should have been on 62 points, but let's not get there. We'll open a Pandora's box with DJ, but I'll get to that, of course. We have Lazio and Roma chasing two, and of course, let's not forget Fiorentina. And after Inter, only Fiorentina have midweek games, like, of course, Betis semi-finals. So I'll
Hmm.
start with, of course, I'll go with DJ first. Atlanta have Lecce, Monza, Roma, Parma, Genoa, and Parma. Can we say Atlanta have kind of sealed top four, DJ?
Yeah. In fact, I'd go as far as saying they've sealed top three because since I felt like they were going to collapse, but inverse has happened. They've managed to win games that they shouldn't have won, and I think that has kind of brought the momentum back into their flow. They're playing their same imposing style that they were playing before the Gasperini news came out, and I think that is going to now carry them in good stead. The points advantage, the differential is what, +4 at the moment for third.
Yeah, +4. They're the 4 points ahead of Bologna.
They're guaranteed third. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard now to come back given their schedule. Also, in fact, I thought Juve had the easiest run in, with 10 games to go. But now I feel like Juve have the worst run in with 5 games to go, given the
But
situation.
Param,
So
what do
I
you say?
think,
Yeah, continue. Sorry, DJ.
yeah. So I think Atlanta third, fourth is between Bologna, Juve, and Lazio. Uh, Roma may be outside shot, but again, tough with 5 to play, very hard. Maybe the
Look.
Inter.
We'll get there, but DJ, look at Roma, Inter, Fiorentina, Atlanta, Milan, and Torino. The
Too hard.
hardest fixtures, probably.
Too hard. Too hard. Yeah.
परम
Yeah,
क्या
very
लग रहा है अटलांटा सील कर दिया है टॉप फोर
Uh, I feel the run is a bit tricky than it actually looks because again we have Krish in the chat who obviously supports Genoa from our Calcio community. So kudos to him.
Yeah.
And Genoa, for example, is a very hard game. They've been doing
Yeah.
extremely well this. मतलब Patrick Vieira, I was not happy with the appointment at all, but I know उसका patches में work होता है, but he's done a good job for what it's worth, and there are some tricky games there. Like I know Lecce में Gianpaolo effect set in हो गया है. They seem to be a lost cause, and I won't be surprised if Venezia get them relegated. But Roma is a tough game. Genoa is a tough game. Parma to close is not easy. It's not easy
Yeah.
because they're fighting to battle relegation और Parma बार बार draw निकाले जा रहा है अगर आप देखो तो. They
Yeah,
beat UA
कितने
as well. Exactly. They
5
just beat
draws
UA.
and now they beat Juve. Yeah.
Exactly. So whatever it is, Kivo का new coach bounce हो जो भी हो, ये थोड़ा tricky लग रहा है. But I feel they kind of have it. I mean, the only thing where I come from, right? My doubt, I'll tell you, because in the Scudetto race also you felt like, oh, Atalanta can create a gap. Now, just like you felt for Napoli, Napoli should have created a gap. Even for Inter, you can say. But Atalanta, out of the three, disappointed the most. They dropped way too much.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
lost him very easily, and that is exactly why I do not fully trust them. Because Atalanta के वो थोड़े weird moments आ जाते हैं. Let's be very honest.
Yeah.
They comfortably
Param,
beat Bologna. हाँ.
you're right, but if you see when it comes to the crunch, they're delivering.
But then
And I think that is the quality you need now in the run-in, because in the run-in is where it the rest of your season you forget. The run-in
no,
is where that.
I agree with you, but you said crunch. But then my point is, DJ, where the crunch was also the Scudetto race. The crunch was also facing Club Brugge and not getting thrashed in the Champions
You
League,
know
right?
what
By Club.
happened was, I feel like a lot of that happened with sudden like that unsettlement with Lookman and Gasperini, and then
Yeah, yeah,
Gasperini
and I feel
then
that way.
revealing the
Gasparini
news.
is
I
Yeah,
think all that has died down, you know, and they've now found that momentum that they had before all of this nonsense happened.
and
Lookman
I
is
agree.
now
They
again in his stride. You know,
That's
there's no
fair.
fallout, and
That's
Gasperini's kind
fair.
of got them galvanized again.
That's
That's just
fair.
the
And
feeling.
they do have a lot of injuries. I agree with that also. Kolasinac, ACL, unfortunately. They've had Skamaka out, Scalvini out. But the point is, I know they have that way of playing, which is I felt kind of unsustainable when you play in multiple competitions. I just feel जब crunch moment आता है, certain players also have not, like Deket Lara also has not been as good as last season, if you really see. So
yeah.
I just have some doubts. If you ask me about Bologna, Chintan bhai,
But
that
Chal,
also in
even
a,
if okay, you're right. But even if you have the doubts, where is it going to show? Only Roma, right? Because look,
I
by
feel Genoa
last match,
also. I
Parma's
feel
playing
Genoa
anyway
also.
for nothing.
I feel
Hard,
at
yeah,
best Roma.
hard, hard. I think Roma. You know, and again, if you take the Roma game into account, they're already at +4, which is gold
Fair,
at this. And with
fair
five to
enough.
play, it's a hard one.
I feel the way Atlanta play in general might not trouble Roma, like might trouble Roma the most. I think Roma would be comfortable facing Atlanta the most. Out of
I
all the
feel
teams they're
Genoa.
facing,
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, tactically speaking मुझे लग रहा है Genoa will be able to deal them the best out of
but
this.
as DJ said, if they're like +3 or something when they reach Genoa, I feel like see finishing third or fourth would really wouldn't make that much of a difference here and there. So I think from
Yeah, to
Champions League
answer your
perspective,
question, is it sealed? Yes, I think it's sealed for Atlanta. Param,
I think
you?
they're I think they're there. I feel they'll get it. I'm just not as assured like in saying a yes as DJ Bhai is. I have doubts, but I feel they'll get it.
so you think Bologna can fight them right now with their current fixture
Yeah, I
list?
feel there is a chance Bologna or anyone else who wants to cause issues can
I,
cause issues.
I have another feeling. I think Bologna after Juve, Milan, Fiorentina, if they lose a cup final, it's a big hit. You know, I feel
Hmm.
with the first league game against Milan, Milan won't. I know not to sound very arrogant, but Milan would know what it is to be in a final. Bologna players would be nervous. Italiano would be nervous.
They're
I
clear
know these players
favorites.
have.
Yeah, Milan are clear favorites for that game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chill.
yeah. So
because
I feel that league game against Milan, and if something does not go as per plan, or they don't end up winning against Milan, I feel even Juventus can sneak in. But yeah, I think that run in with Juventus, Milan, Fiorentina, big. I think Bologna can slip. Like I think they can slip as far off as fifth or sixth.
so
So
it
I'm
is a
not very
tough fixture
confident
list. It is a
Agreed,
tough
agreed.
fixture list. DJ, but like if you think Bologna ka bhai Udinese is not an easy. Sure, Udinese
at
have been
all.
a mixed bag, but Udinese have actually, if you see their season has been very good. It's crazy. मैं सुन रहा हूँ news में कि they are considering sacking Costa Runiaic. I don't understand some of these clubs like Lazio considering sacking Baroni, Udinese
Yeah, yeah.
considering sacking Runiaic. But hey, he's got Udinese at 10th place. हम लोग इधर 15th या 16th predict करे थे rightfully. So I don't understand, and that's a very tough team to play. I think we can all agree they've caused problems for a lot of our teams. Milan back to back is not easy. UA for Bologna is not easy. So I feel I agree with Chintan bhai. अगर वो कोपा फाइनल हार गए तो एंड जेनोआ अगेन सी बोल रहा हूँ पीपल आर स्लीपिंग ऑन जेनोआ दैट्स नॉट
Yeah.
एन इजी
By
टीम
the
टू
look
प्ले
at Genoa's fixture. They play Napoli, Atlanta, Bologna,
राइट
and they play.
बोलोनिया एंड
But
द
guys,
फनी थिंग
again, at this stage in the season, we have to see what Genoa are playing for. They're not playing for the drop. They're not playing. You know, there's no motivation at this point. They're just maintaining their legs. That's it. You know,
नो
Yeah,
आई
that is
एग्री
there.
they
दैट्स अ फेयर
to
पॉइंट
play for
दैट्स अ फेयर
these teams begin to lose motivation unless they're playing a team that's playing for the title or playing for top four. If they're playing somewhere where it's I don't think they'll give their all. That's just my take. I
No,
mean,
that's a fair point, DJ bhai. But also, like so far, just to put it out there, so far, even not having anything to play, वो लोग फिर भी डाल रहे performance. That's all. I just feel personally
fair,
they are
fair,
looking
fair.
to close. They're looking to close that season on a high because they have a point to prove कि हाँ हमें Patrick Vieira को रखना है with all the links to Roma and all that. We want to close the season on a high, new ownership, everything. You know, there's that factor going with Genoa. So I just personally feel wherever they are involved, there is going to be a tricky element. Personally, coming to UH Chintan by DJ, let's get your thoughts, and then we can take comments and
Yeah,
um,
Dish. What an unexpected loss. Yeah, you should have been
And guys,
forced.
we've discussed this, guys. And I'm sure we're all on the same page about this. Everyone kept saying Mota out, he's out. I'm still not saying I'm not seeing that bounce that okay, Tudor came in, we saw more attacking, more focused lineup, etc. But it's very clear, guys, that while I do personally think these players have the talent, I'm beginning to think that their temperament is suspect because
Yep.
you can't show up in a crunch day. This team, Parma, has nothing to play for, and you've just come in and underestimated them and played with, I don't know, arrogance, because obviously they've not achieved anything this season, but you've played with, like, that lack of. Like, if we were a neutral and we didn't know who was which team, you'd think Parma's the one playing for Champions League and Juve is the one that is
Yeah.
15th or 14th in the league and they're set, like they're going nowhere. The attitude is what I don't understand. The entire team showed up like 11 Douglas Luizes, like I just didn't understand. Like there was no character. There's no, of course, there was as usual ball possession, sterile as it may be. In the last 10 minutes, I think is when, like, they realize, oh shit, we're a goal down, let's play for this. But also, it's a function of some of the players not coming to the party. Like it's probably one of Thuram's worst games of the season. He's now an
Yeah,
integral, a player in this team. Cambia, so I don't know what has happened. It's almost like a schizophrenic player that during the City transfer gossip, he was the best player on this team. And I don't know what has happened after that has fallen through. He suddenly had this injury. He's just not recovered from it. It's almost like he's Il Nuovo Alexandro, like I'm just not able to see that player that I knew prior to January. So I think like Juve is kind of struggling in those departments. The error per se came from Kelly. I don't know if you guys saw the
yeah,
goal. The
yeah,
guy
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a tall player. How can you lose on a header? It beats
Yeah.
me, And with due respect, I haven't even heard of Pellegrino before this. In terms of, like, yeah, it was a lovely goal, but I mean, I don't see him
yeah.
as a legit threat, right? Like we should be
Should
winning
have should
that.
have should have been dealt with, types.
That duel you should win, yeah, all day, every day. Parma wins from set pieces. It's their crosses in the box. I mean, these are stats you prepared for. These are stats you had. It can't be coming like that, and it can't be coming from there. The reaction again is what affects me as a Juve fan. Like, I
Mm.
think, like, perhaps why, like, they've all gone into this whole Conte bubble and said he's the only guy who'll give them a bamboo up their bum to kind of make them realize where they are. Um, but I feel like, to me personally, I don't think Juve will get another chance. Are we out of it? No, 1 point is not much. Had we won, also, it wouldn't be much. You would still have to be focused. So I don't think much is lost points wise. But I do feel like if the temperament doesn't come to the party starting from Monza, I don't think Juve will make it in the top four. To me, of course, I may differ from Param. I think Atlanta has sealed three. It's really between Bologna, Juve, and Lazio for four.
Wow. Yeah,
Uh,
actually, that of course, Bologna Juventus is like a direct knockout game, because
Yeah, and
I just determined.
it's an away game for Juve. We know what happened last season. If you guys remember what happened in that game, the
Yeah,
yeah.
other thing, guys, don't forget, teams with momentum, right, in the final run in, the crowd plays a big role,
yeah,
because
yeah,
when you have
Yeah.
a packed jumping stadium at this stage of the season with five to play, four to play, it's like an extra man, you know.
yeah.
So
People
I
take
mean,
all these things pretty lightly. You're right. You're absolutely right. Plus, you
definitely.
saw what happened with Inter against Bologna at Delara. We saw what happened. Last
Definitely,
minute winners. So they
and
are
they're
super
believing it.
pumped up.
Chase. They're believing it. They know they were in the Champions League this season. They
Yeah.
know how last season went. They know they're on a second season with a great run. They're beginning to believe that there's a revolution happening there. That belief of Mota went, and we're still an even better team now.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
there's belief in the air. Like, it's the environment that, like, the players are breathing that air, the fans are breathing that air. It makes a big difference. It's going to take something special to for me personally to think that Bologna will not make it. You're right. But the thing that affects them is they don't have the experience year on year. They did it last year, uh, but that was top five. They don't have the experience to kind of come in and say we can make the top four in Italy. They don't know that run in. That's the only thing that's holding them back. Otherwise, there's magic in the air.
Yeah,
So,
Mm.
I mean, I'm hoping and praying that Udinese pull off, for their fellow black and white brothers. Some kind of miracle. I don't see it happen though. I think Bologna will romp that game.
क्या बोला परम with Bologna, Juventus and Lazio. Right now, that you can say Lazio and Juventus, of course, tied on points, and Bologna, of course, just 1 point ahead. यार क्या लग रहा है?
Yeah.
What is your take on all these three teams, and who do you think will eventually get the top four? And if Juve don't get the top four, do you think they should consider this as a failed year for them?
टॉप फोर नहीं मिला तो फाइनेंशियली तो बहुत ही और प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. आई मीन वी ऑलरेडी नो they're not in a good place. Sure, obviously, ownership wise, kind of having your in-house owners helps and everything. But if they miss out on top four, it's a big, big issue for UA. I think we all know UA fans will also agree. Objectively speaking, do I think UA will make it to the Champions League? मुझे लग रहा है. See, that run-in is not. See, that Monza game has to be a must-win. If you mess up against Monza, then even
Also,
like
Param, you can't. It's not only a must win. You have to win it big. Because
big,
then you can't
you
go
need
into this match
confidence.
without belief. You need that confidence.
Yeah,
After this
because
loss,
you'll be going to the Dallara again. We spoke of this. They've only lost one home game, Bologna at home. One home game, Bologna, which is to Hellas Verona. That too in 2024, 2025. They're unbeaten at home. They have this fantastic record, as you said, the Dallara. It's a aesthetically beautiful stadium. Ek to wo, you can see the buzz when you go there. It's a difficult atmosphere to play in. The players believe, the fans believe, every single person in that beautiful stadium. You see the atmosphere in Bologna when you go there.
Yeah,
बहुत
yeah.
tough है उधर खेलना. And as you said, the crowd in general for me always in football counts, but in this final stretch it always counts more. For me, मेरे को तो लग रहा है बोलोनिया वो गेम जीतेगा. अगर ड्रॉ नहीं तो जीतेगा, मुझे एक तो लग रहा है. मोन्जा में अगर यूए नहीं जीती ना तो if UA lose Monza and Bologna back to back, I'd be worried. I'd start getting worried about that Champions
no,
League
it's
spot.
over then, Param. क्या
No,
बात
but
कर रहे हैं?
two
If they
losses, I
lose
think
it
it's
back
done.
to back, it's over. Then there's no
Yeah.
coming back.
मेरे
Now,
को लग रहा है
you can't
मोन्जा
drop
को
the
तो
ball
अब
now. You have
हाँ
to
बोलो
beat Monza, you have to beat Bologna, you have to beat Lazio. There's no
Yeah.
two ways.
Yeah, because Monza, like, with no disrespect to them, they're a lost cause. 15 point पे है. They put up a good fight against Napoli, but still you can see nothing is working out. As me and Chintan Bhai keep saying, they're preparing for life in the Serie A B. They're preparing for a sale. आज भी न्यूज थी. निको शीरा ने बोला अमेरिकन कंपनी wants to buy them. So Galliani era is going. So they're preparing for life in Serie A B. If you know a club is preparing for life in Serie A B, you have to beat them with all due respect. You see, they're
No,
terrible with all.
and it's a home game, Param.
Yeah, it's a home game.
Thankfully Vlahovic is injured, so he's missing the next two games, which is also game changing for Juve. On
Yeah.
many levels, because
What
Kolo
what
will finally get two starts back to back.
what days we are talking about Vlahovic like that, but like
Yeah,
yeah, I think forget
Guys, I
and
can't
Juventus.
for the life of me, man. The guy has the first touch of a rapist. He couldn't score in a fucking brothel. I don't understand this player. Top fucking earning player in the league. In the league. Forget at Juve. Like, I can't for the life of me. Like, look at him. He may go somewhere else and be great. But I will have absolutely no regret once he leaves Juve.
no, I don't. He's said to leave. News bhi aa chuki. I mean, there is no
Guys,
surprises.
he can't play with Allegri. He can't play with Motta. He can't play with Tudor. Who can he play with?
I said
Maybe
this.
Arteta.
I told you the player in this case is the problem, and now but moving on from that, right? I feel UA will reach the Champions League, but it is not an easy fixture list. मैं एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ that Venezia game, DJ भाई, sorry, correct me, is it home or away? I keep forgetting the Venezia game you play.
Bologna is away. Lazio is away. Udine
Udinese.
is at home. Venezia, I don't know myself. I'll have to check.
I'll
I think it's a home game. I think
I'll
it's a
also
home
check if it's a home game. Fair enough. I think it is a home game. Correct. I do remember. I think you playing that game to Venezia away from home. But point being, my point is DJ bhai. Sorry, Venezia is away. Correct. Venezia is away. My bad. And look again,
Yeah,
Venezia.
Venezia away,
Polo,
Udinese home.
yeah, and Venezia are looking to get above Lecce. मैं यही बोल रहा था थोड़ी देर पहले. And you see how Venezia are playing in the recent games. Just I do not like Di Francesco. You know my thoughts about him, but they are. मैं जब बोला था भाई ये लोग ना लाइफ हार्ड बना रहे सबके लिए चिंतन में हर गेम में. They're looking for that draw. They're looking to make it so tough that also game is not guaranteed for UA. So if anything, for me, UA have to do better in those earlier games. उधर अगर नहीं होता है ना, then that run towards the end for UA is very
That
tricky.
is what, right? That is what DJ said. The head-to-head against Bologna, you need that buffer If you beat Bologna, you leapfrog them, you go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Them playing
Because
Milan twice. If Bologna lose the Copa Italia, which I hope they do, their shoulders will be down. They will be fatigued after that game. Their mind will be, "Arey, we lost that game. Only chance of a trophy after so many years." So
Hmm.
I think Juventus ka Parma loss is the most hurtful because had they had
Yeah.
that buffer, they would have been on 62.
Shane,
2 points.
second worst night of the season as a Juve fan for me.
मैं
More
yeah
so than the 3-love and the 4-love. There's a
wow.
Champions League exit and then this Parma game. Like, you
मैं
can't,
बोलता हूँ
after
ना.
11 days of rest, guys, how can you show up
Yeah,
like that?
exactly. It's insane.
It is
It's insane. And
ridiculous. Like, like, what are you? Have you won the league the last couple of years that you're showing up and thinking you're going to romp this game? Very poor attitude, no leadership, no temperament. Tudor had a bad game as well.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ. I always said the players for me at UA deserve much more responsibility than they've been. They've been. Then it has been talked about in general. Also मैं बोल रहा हूँ. मैं जनरल चीज हमेशा हमेशा बोलता हूँ चिंतन भाई. Playing relegation battling teams in the second half of the season
Is
is one
very
of the
bad.
most
Very hard.
challenging things. It is very hard. Venezia
Very
has
hard.
been the prime example. लेच्चे को छोड़ के वो जियम पाउलो अगर नहीं होता कोच, मैं बोलता वो लोग भी पॉइंट्स निकालते. मोन्जा तो रेलीगेट हो चुकी है, बट दे आल्सो पुट अप अ फाइट. Parma showed it against you. I'm telling you, it is so hard to play these teams, and this is far from easy. I do feel UA makes it, but this is not certain. यार मेरे को लगता नहीं लाजियो
Yeah, Karam,
आएगा.
how do you feel? Because look, Juve, Bologna has got an Udinese, which is going to be an easy game, I think, for my money. The Juve game, I personally think Bologna are favorites for that one.
Yeah,
It'll be miraculous if Juve win that in the Dallara. I think. I don't see it happen personally, given the momentum.
yeah. I
Milan,
mean,
for me also, I feel like Milan don't have much to play for. I don't know how motivated they'll be when Bologna come around in the league. Of course, they will. I personally feel they will rest players for the Copa, for the final,
Yeah, probably.
because I think so. I think that
no.
game is that game. I think Bologna have the edge as well. So they have the edge on Juve. They have the edge on Milan.
Yeah.
Fiorentina maybe okay. Fiorentina will put up a fight definitely because
I think
they're in the
Fiorentina
races
are
as well. So
the
that's
person.
really the only tricky game,
हाँ,
and of course, if Juve want this, they have to beat Bologna, which I don't see happen.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
I
think
don't
I think at this moment in time, Bologna are favorites, and there's
favorites.
magic in the air. But guys, we're talking about Bologna and Juve, but we are not. How are we forgetting Lazio? They're
Look,
the
Actually,
I'm
on
not.
the contrary, Param, DJ, I'm feeling the other way around. I think Lazio are probably like a yo-yo team. I feel like
Yeah,
which Lazio
Chintan
is
bhai,
going to
we
turn up
gave
against.
Chintan bhai, let's do it like this. Let's wrap up the last four teams like this. Me and DJ have been speaking a lot about Bologna, UA. You can talk a bit more about Lazio, Roma, because Roma का जो form है, right? 17 games unbeaten. Lazio's fixtures are a bit tricky, but the thing is they've not lost it to Parma in ages.
Yeah,
Empoli are in a bad way. Juventus obviously वो direct head to head हो जाता है. Inter है, which let's see if they want to take
no
revenge
Inter's
for
a
this.
big game. No, that's
Yes.
that's a title game for Inter. So they will not bend over.
but
No
I think
way.
Inter has a number on Lazio. I feel with that, I think
Agreed,
वो
agreed, agreed. That's a two love.
वो
That's
उस
a two love Inter win.
वो
5
उस
0
पे आते
5
हैं,
0 Param. कितना था 5 0 4 0 the
सिक्स
previous
नील था
game?
6-0 in Rome.
6-0. Wow, at Rome.
Yeah,
So
see,
I feel when it comes to Lazio, like you never know which Lazio is going to turn up,
that's the
because
point.
I know they are pretty much in the race. But you saw fatigue, like best team in Europa group stages. They finished top. They of course they did a remontada almost against Bodo Glimt. Should have been thrashed in the first leg. To be very honest, Like I feel a 4-0
Yeah,
था. Bodo Glimt should have won 4-0. वो पता नहीं
4-0.
ग्वेंडूसी तो पार्क में चल रहा था क्या. I don't know. I think they missed
Vecino
Novella in
was
that first.
horrendous. Vecino तो भाई मतलब
भाई
there are no words to
परम यार
describe.
वेसिनो वो है ही नहीं. He's not यूरोपा लेवल. वो लीग में चल
Yeah,
जाएगा अगेंस्ट द पार्मा मोन्जा. But they
yeah,
missed Rovella was suspended. I think they missed him
yeah.
very badly. So on the contrary, I'm not counting Milan. I'm just going to stop till Fiorentina. If you ask me, the most unpredictable team here has to be Lazio. They might lose to an Empoli and they might beat Juventus. So
Yeah.
I think my idea all the more, however tough Roma fixtures are, I would keep an eye on Roma because the run-in they've had and 1-0 and 1-0 they've been racking. They've been doing a Juventus here for so many
Very
weeks.
hard, yeah, Chins. I mean, this stage of the season, look, they've recovered so many points, but again, there has to be some level of fatigue. Europa's over. Inter, Fiorentina, Atlanta, Milan, Torino, back to back, very hard, yeah.
Yeah, that is
Very
there. But
That's
I think
mad.
if you ask me, मेरे को तो लग रहा है probably Lazio Roma में शायद change होगा. I think Juventus Bologna, but I think this is how it might finish
I
eventually.
agree. I agree.
Guys,
You,
let's do this one thing. Like I agree with you guys as well. I feel I want the comments to start giving their top four. Actually, आप
नहीं,
सब ना
this
क्या करो?
4 5
हाँ,
6 7 8 9 यही सब
yes.
यही order में
मुझे
place कर दो आप
टॉप
सब लोग.
एग्जैक्टली आप टॉप 8 ही दे दो ऑर्डर में. आई नो आई एम येट टू टेक द प्रीवियस कमेंट्स में लूंगा, बट आई विल टेक इट इन रिवर्स ऑर्डर. कमेंट्स में गेट गोइंग गाइस, टॉप 8 इन
ए
ऑर्डर, ठीक
टॉप 9 बोल. टॉप 8 बोलेगा तो मिलान नहीं आएगा. टॉप 9
है. टॉप 10 ही दे दो भाई, ऐसे टॉप 10 ही दे दो. आपको पता है 10th में टोरिनो को बाय डिफॉल्ट डालना है बिकॉज़ दे आर बैक टू 10th प्लेस. दैट्स देयर
but
फेवरेट
guys,
स्पॉट.
before we do that, also what a special mention to this season, right? Like what a
Yeah.
season it's been. I mean,
Yeah.
horrible for Juve and Milan fans, but on the whole, it's so good to see Serie A just rocking, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
of
to
course.
know, like I don't think in recent memory or even distant memory I've ever seen a race go down the way it has.
I
Your Scudetto title is open, teams are tied. The
Hmm.
top 4, the top 8 teams separated by this much. I mean,
Top
this
9,
is
top 9, DJ top
it's
9.
top
Please
9.
include Milan.
amazing, amazing.
मतलब वो पुरानी मीम्स जो आते थे ना, फोन का साइज बड़ा होता था, स्क्रॉल करने स्क्रॉल नहीं करना
But
पड़ता था.
you're absolutely right, and the best part is from 1 to 8, I'm going to exclude Milan here. You really cannot predict who's going to finish where. It's unbelievable how
Which is
it is,
also,
you know.
doesn't it set up a precedent for what next season is going to be, right? Like, think
Yeah,
about
of
it.
course.
Aging Inter squad now destabilize Napoli if Conte leaves. Suddenly, you don't know. There can be a title winner coming from anywhere. You know?
Yeah, and you know, like if any team misses out, they'll be like all the more like out for blood, you know, that okay, we
Correct.
missed out on this and we get here. And
Correct.
let's not forget, guys, amongst like this conversation, we have a Fiorentina who is again rooting for a third consecutive
I have
conference
I have
league final.
predicted an elimination against Betis. I feel Betis are better than
Yeah,
them.
I agree.
Yeah, I know Betis, I know, but like is Fagioli fit? Fagioli is
No,
playing,
actually.
right?
No,
but
I
we
think
need to we sorry DJ, go ahead.
he's injured, right?
Yeah, I think
Fagioli
he's
is
injured. I need to double check because मेरे को check करना है if he's fit or not.
He's injured. I
A,
think he's
that is the case, DJ, as you said. B, we still don't know what mental state he's in after the whole scandal thing came up again and all that. So far he's doing fine, but again he's not in a good place. Obviously, मतलब that's what it looks like from the outside. So Fiorentina का वही है, a lot depends on a lot of things. See, they do not have a proper Moise Kean backup. There are gaps in that team, and जैसे डीजे भाई ने बोला ना कि managing two competitions for a club like Fiorentina right now is not easy. Right now, they'll probably beat an Empoli, but that Betis game will definitely take a toll before they play Roma.
But
Betis,
got to give them compliments for being here,
of
whatever it
course,
is.
of course.
Flying the Italian flag high, Calcio flag
Yeah,
high, because
I
this is
agree.
consistency. Coming in a
I
semi-final
agree.
again.
Yeah. नहीं, I fully agree with you. As much as you are praising an Inter or as much as you're praising any other Italian club for doing well, Fiorentina deserve credit. I hope they prove me wrong and they beat Betis. मैं ये नहीं चाहता कि वो लोग Betis से हार जाए. Ideally, I personally have a soft spot for Real Betis amongst the two Seville clubs or whatnot, but I want Calcio to do well here.
इधर भी तू सामने खड़ा है मेरे परम. इधर भी opposite side.
Opposite side
So
where you like
by
Serie A.
the way, whatever it's very funny. We always end up supporting rivals. You know, like
Really?
of course it's a Milan and an Inter.
Yeah.
He's a Porto fan. I'm a Benfica fan.
And France,
But-
yeah, how to forget.
Yeah, no, I'm Real Sociedad. He supports Bilbao. You know, so it's always the rivals, and of course he supports Betis. I like Sevilla. So it's fun. That's why we are frenemies. We are frenemies.
Yeah, frenemies, yeah. But they see the thing is that's a tricky schedule. DJ bhai, you see that Venezia again, Roma. Look at that schedule. ठीक है, फिर Empoli को फिर भी चलो हरा दिया. Betis, Roma, Betis, Venezia again. We spoke about Venezia, Bologna, and to close
it's
the
hard.
season, Udinese.
It's
That's
hard,
hard.
it's
That's tough. That's
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
they can run out of steam. So
Yeah,
I
they-
think I'm going to. So are you guys saying that Milan has a chance to finish
To
above
overtake.
Fiorentina?
yeah, I think there is a decent chance. I'm not saying it's easy.
Dude, we have 5 points, man. That's ridiculous. Yeah, 5 points in 5 games is
Yeah,
ridiculous. man.
it's
नहीं,
hard.
नहीं,
But Milan will have their chances because I think Roma, Venezia, Bologna back to back are all tricky.
fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. I just want to take the predictions from some comments people have given. Again, I want more people to give your top 10 here. Come on, yaar. मतलब, what is this energy?
I
मतलब,
think
क्या
I
है?
think Param, top 10 is maybe a bit much for everyone. Top
Fair
6
enough,
to
not top 10. Top 6, top 8 भी चलेगा,
No,
top
yeah,
6 भी चलेगा.
I'm saying he's just saying that give us the order of this only,
yeah,
right?
because
Yeah,
I
I'm
yeah,
mean,
come on.
noticing in the
Like,
comments, a lot of people are only going from 4 to 9. They're not talking
yeah, that
1, 2, 3.
okay.
the-
Give me top 6 if you guys don't want to give top 10. Come on, guys. Like, I'm just going
I
through it
think I
very
think
quick.
I think DJ people are assuming top three जैसा है वैसा ही रहेगा. Inter,
हाँ, हाँ.
Napoli, and Atlanta.
Because Anand is saying Atalanta and Lazio to comprise of the top four with Inter and Napoli. But Baki ka bhi bol Anand. Rio says Napoli and Inter to play the winners of matlab the Scudetto, play for the Scudetto. Atalanta, Juve, Bologna, Roma, Fiorentina, Lazio is his order. Ola Ola says Bologna fourth, Roma fifth, Juve sixth, Lazio seventh, eighth Fiorentina, AC Milan ninth. So he has your top three as Inter, Napoli, Atalanta, whatever order. शिवम बोल रहा है बेसिकली यूवे बोलोनिया रोमा लाजियो मिलान फ्योरेंटीना टोरिनो सो ही हैज फ्योरेंटीना
Milan.
ड्रॉपिंग Adrish says Inter Napoli Atalanta Bologna Juventus Lazio Roma Fiorentina Torino like as they are Inter lose ये ही इसका जिंक्सिंग चालू हो गया ए भाई तू मुंह बंद कर भाई असली में अगर प्लेऑफ पे आके हार गया ना भाई मैं उधर जाके आके तेरे को पीटूंगा भाई just shut your mouth man sorry but just don't basically as they are I gave my top 10 Manish says क्या बोल रहे सॉरी
Two mafia and one Inter.
banter continues Milan will win the Coppa Italia Anad being an Interista says after a long time wow well I mean
Imagine we're
very
talking about top four, and I'm just very happy here. Give me the Mickey Mouse Cup, Take me to Europa League. I've got a
Nahi
shortcut to
yaar,
Europa.
but since
Mickey
honestly,
Mouse
I look forward to Copa games genuinely.
I like it
It's not
yeah
been that Mickey Mouse concept, in the last
But
10 years.
DJ, trust me, Param, DJ and me were, of course, we had a miscommunication. Plus, the travel agent messed it up. We could have been at Riyadh, and Milan ended up winning that. And there was, of course, a conversation happening with, that we could have been for the finals for the Coppa Italia. Now Milan are there again, and if Milan ends up winning it, there are chances I've missed them, missed
Param,
seeing them win.
since that's mad, we spoke about it actually, going to the
Yeah,
Copa in May. Right. What
exactly.
an
And
opportunity, yaar.
and imagine if Milan wins it, I'll miss them winning. Of course, we saw Saudi mein kya hua, two dramatic victories. And if
yeah yeah
Of course, Milan in the final, that itself, it's like an occasion.
guy
So
Yeah.
yeah
I would be very,
guys there is one interesting piece of news coming अगर आपने आज वीडियो देखा होगा the whole referee thing crying in the press conference in Spain before the Copa
yeah.
del Rey. So it has repercussions. I'm bringing this up because Real Madrid is considering not playing the Copa del Rey final this weekend against Barcelona due to impartial referee comments as reported by Relevo. ये मैं Relevo के words पढ़ रहा हूँ. ये मैं बना रहा नहीं हूँ before anybody gets this wrong. I'm reading this. So if true, then Barcelona won't have a match this weekend.
Oh,
मतलब भाई
wow.
मतलब that will be a double whammy for us. We'll play on a Sunday because obviously the Pope passed and of course rightfully so that's more important. You have to have a morning. So if Inter plays on a Sunday, Barcelona has no game. अरे बाप रे.
But DJ, I'll ask, of course, Param को अभी opinion पूछना नहीं है. Do you think as a league, seeing what Inter are doing, there were talks about, of course, postponing the Inter Roma game, and seeing how big Barca's first leg is, not even the second leg, the first leg is so crucial. Do you think the league could have pushed it कि चलो ये game हम लोग आगे midweek में रख देंगे? Do you think that could have happened? The league can do that. I think Feyenoord before playing Milan, I think they gave an off,
They
a week
और
off.
division उतना हाँ और division they postponed their game.
So DJ, they gave a week off because they were playing Milan, just
I
so
think
that
this is I feel like it's a function of just like very archaic uh, rulers in the league. Like they're very stubborn with it's happened earlier this season with Juve as well. It's very hard for them to make these assessments. If there is in the weekend, if there is a day where you can play the game, they will make you play. I think I was
yeah.
given to understand that Inter didn't want to play at all this weekend because of the A till Saturday. Anyway, it was banned because of the morning, and then Sunday they wanted to avoid it, which I personally think, like the FIGC, I don't know, and the league at large, I don't know how they are not able to plan this. You have a team representing the league. You want to do everything optimally to support that team to go ahead and do what they have to do in Europe. But then again, I mean, it's not the first time we're seeing this, and I doubt it'll be the
Yeah,
last. So,
So
yeah.
Inter
even
used to
Shivam said it here.
Shivam has brought
Even
up that
PS,
point. If you can pull
yeah,
it up,
PSG's
Chintan.
game. Yeah, he also said that PSG's game was
Yes. L-
postponed. Like, come
Yes,
on, that
that's
is what you can do for the league because, as you said, it's a representation plus knowing where Serie A is, knowing you were the big dogs once upon a time. You should be doing every single thing.
हाँ
Like a Copa
हाँ
Italia game could have been pushed, and that also could have been pushed. It's a semi-final. Don't want to push the league game, push the
हाँ
semi-final somewhere. That can be done. I think Roma का तो बहुत अच्छा chance था. I think they should have done it. Now that you're making them play on a Sunday, you know they're playing Barca away, and there is a chance Barca. Everyone knows Barca is going to go all out in the first leg, so they have
yeah
less pressure in the second leg, and they know how
yeah.
Inter plays. They know it's going to be difficult at San Siro. Boss,
See if
it is
by the way,
unbelievable.
guys, I've seen Barca Inter in the new camp.
yeah
So that was
Really,
a cracker. The game when Leva
Conte,
scored.
the
Uh,
Conte one,
I think it was the 1-1. This was in 2022.
हाँ
I
तो
don't
3-3
remember
वाला
the
आपने देखा 3-3
three
वाला
three
देखा
three three.
आपने
3-3 wala.
the crazy 3-3 wow wow first time getting to
Mad,
know this that's
mad,
insane
mad, mad, mad. It was crazy.
yeah
And
I know
when the ultras come, now guys, I saw it at the new camp. So
yeah
when the ultras came, when the Barca ultra, oh my god, it was such a sight, like insane. The pressure that the opposing team feels is mad,
yeah
mad.
yeah I remember वो 4-3 कर सकते थे हम असलानी मिस्टर गोल्डन चांस I mean he was
Yeah,
Yeah,
inexperienced
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
good game, very good
crazy
game,
game yeah
end
crazy
to
game
end.
But
let
even
me quickly
Krish has mentioned something that
uh,
even our game versus Valladolid has been preponed because of the second leg
preponed
versus. That
yeah
is
I
great. Yeah,
mean
I'm very happy. I'm
yeah
very happy the league's doing that La Liga. It's amazing because you want Barca to do well. Of course, Real Madrid have been doing amazingly well. Usually, La Liga teams do so well in European competition, and this is where again, Param, I think you're missing a trick here. Like the FIGC is
yeah.
missing a trick here. You
look
have
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ
and परम ऐसा भी नहीं है कि इंटर इज जस्ट फिलिंग द नंबर्स हियर इंटर आर गोइंग इन एज वन ऑफ द फेवरेट्स टू विन द टाइटल दे आर टॉप 3 हम लोग तो मैं और अजय तो स्टार्टिंग से नीचे बोलते आ रहे हैं व्हेन द टूर्नामेंट स्टार्टेड आई सेड इंटर मेरे लिए टॉप 3 टीम्स थे फॉर चैंपियंस लीग एंड दे प्रूव मी
yeah
राइट
see
दे आर हियर इन द सेमीफाइनल्स
what I'll say is देखो अभी कैसा है होने के लिए on the day of the game कुछ भी हो सकता है if fatigue plays in you never I hope it's not like a I feel it'll be a close game but I hope if the fatigue sets in it's not like what AC Milan did to us I mean that's not what I don't think that's happening but the thing is you expect कुछ ना कुछ because there was one slot to play which was towards the end there is a slot where Inter could have played the Roma game midweek which Inter did ask for but apparently there has been some news circulating that Napoli apparently threatened legal action against the league if that was to happen. But it's not like the league is scared of any one team. यार legal action में क्या ही होने वाला है कुछ ज्यादा होने नहीं वाला है फाइन पे आ जाएगा. So I don't really buy that news. But whatever it is, I feel पोस्टपोन किया जा सकता था इंटर सैटरडे को ऑप्शन दिया था खेलने को इंटर का रात को a day before but Inter said भाई पूरा डे मॉर्निंग का है you can't be disrespectful and play on the day of the morning which is fair
that's to be very honest that is good on Inter that they
yeah
respected the
exactly if
culture
everybody else
which is very
exactly
important.
yeah you can't disrespect the tradition and we know the Pope is a big figure for many around the world not just in Italy he's a big figure around the world you can't be disrespectful so I just felt a bit gutted कि भाई तुम 12 बजे का लंच किक ऑफ भी दे सकते थे कोमो का गेम डालने के जगह like why do you have Como playing at 12 it's not like again with all due respect to Como I like what they're doing but it's not like they're playing a relegation game or anything significant you could have had that at 3 p.m who extra hours also matter so I just don't understand some of the planning by the league very honestly
And if you see the fixture, they could have pushed that now that Inter are out of the Coppa Italia, they could have
yeah exactly to the
pushed
Coppa
that game.
Italia date exactly you could have pushed that to the Coppa date as well so and I
And
understand Roma के भी
and
commitments
again,
है
नहीं but Roma again are not in the Europa, so उनको भी problem नहीं आता, and of course
yeah
knowing
I
what it
don't
is,
think it would have been a problem for them either so क्या कर सकते हैं आप इतना ही बोल सकते हैं I just hope Inter are fit enough to play both the games that are to come against Roma and Barcelona let me guys quickly take a few comments because a lot of people asking a few things then we can close with a bit of a Shivam has been sending me some things more of a guessing sort of a game so we can close with that एक तो again 44 people watching guys thank you for all the support Please do like, share, and subscribe. आपके मैं comments लेता हूँ. Again, we have just hit 1.63k, so please continue showing us the support. You will keep getting all the Calcio content you are looking for. So let me just quickly take a few comments. DJ भाई के तो इतने praises है बाप रे मतलब.
DJ, yes, some guy want DJ bhai, please have my kids. Please take a
हाँ वो
screenshot
देखा वो देखा मैं कहा गया वही मेरे.
and show it to the missus, please. That you need to say that boy, like, listen, girl, I have fans from all genders.
Yeah, Param bhai, thoughts on Pio Esposito? Fantastic talent. I think he's the best Esposito right now. 15th goal he scored in the Serie A B today. Serie A B का भी मैं आपको टेबल दिखाता हूँ. There is a very interesting thing going on actually in the Serie A B, which I'll quickly show in a bit. Wait, what is
Yeah,
this?
यार Sassuolo वापस आ गया यार.
Sassuolo.
DJ,
I'm
telling
actually
you,
trying to.
that
Yeah, I'm going
that
to.
team is a bloody. I
Yeah.
remember them losing to all the small teams and beating Milan, Inter, and Juventus back to back. I think that mad freak own goal by
Mad.
Gatti. I think that was
Crazy.
like, wow,
I
man.
think I remember when they got relegated, all of us were collectively relieved कि भाई गए ये लोग.
I
Because
was
they
happy,
are the,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Hey,
DJ,
ये बेराडी किधर है अभी?
Huh?
बेराडी
there.
किधर है?
He's there
He's
only.
still there.
He had an injury, but he's back in form. He was very good, and they're back. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to make a short. Actually, I was supposed to put it out a few days ago. I'll try to record it.
He's
on the
there. He's
weekend.
in Cameroon, is he? Stayed with them when
Yeah,
they were
he's
down,
there.
and now he's back.
Crazy.
Bologna smacked Inter. They'll smack the other Milan club too. Yeah, I mean, he's trash. You can't disagree with that. Why does AC Milan have a very good fan following in India and other countries as compared to other teams in Serie A? I think Big Three का अच्छा following है. AC Milan has a very big following simply because वो legacy रही है. मतलब वो prime years
No,
में
actually, Param, वो जो 2007 तक I think was a very household name हो गया था तभी थोड़ा.
Yeah, exactly. Household name. You know what they did generally success wise. So hey, big way Inter also have a lot of fans, but AC Milan, yeah, they do have a very big fan following. Jovic was definitely very good in his Eintracht Frankfurt days. Was horrible in the Milan part. So I am agrees finally. Yeah, I think Shivam has. ये तो इसमें भी डिस ले रहा है. Treble Inter Kryptonite is a mid-table Milan and a Rangers owned by Ederson. How will you celebrate UCL? अरे ये तो भाई this guy has been commenting from the last few streams की UCL fourth वाला ये season guaranteed. उसके बाद 5th UCL भी जीतने वाली है Inter. I मतलब ये ultimate jinxing है मतलब from a Man City fan. I don't understand why this is happening, but whatever.
He's eyeing your manager, bro.
Huh?
He's eyeing your manager.
Yeah, Shivam again another DJ by fan. Like one question to both of you: will Ugarte and Ederson from Atalanta be a good fit for United? यार निखिल एक honest बोलो यार, if you're a Man United fan or if there is any other Man United fan in the comments, no offense here. I'm sorry, but I don't think it's the right place for Ederson to be right now. I think you, if as a United fan also, you'll agree it's
For
I know
any serious football player.
Yeah, with all due respect, I obviously Amorim I like as a coach and everything. मैं और चिंतन मैं बहुत discuss कर चुके, but right now I don't think that's the place for Ederson to be. Ederson would add a lot, yes, but you know the fundamental problems at Man United. I don't think it's a
Ugarte himself is not settled in. I think
exactly. Ugarte for me, Ugarte was for me was a very weird signing, which we can discuss maybe on a chill stream.
Param, also, but you have to look at the question from the perspective of United. If they want a player, they will pay the money and get the player.
Of course, I agree.
You
I
also
fully
have to
agree.
look at it from that perspective. If they want Ederson, they'll do whatever Atlanta's asking.
Yeah, of course, I agree. They did that for Highland. I mean, you saw after one season. Bologna reaching Copa Italia final, he meant is better than the previous UCL. I mean, that's a fair perspective here. It's not like Bologna has a chance to win a trophy every other day. ये कहाँ से मिला भाई आपको? Very funny thing. Wait, what just happened here? Did the layout change? Sorry, Dhananjay bhai, this good or else when I watched him first time shot, बाप रे ये क्या Al Pacino? Yeah, I think that comparison we have seen before. Al Pacino का for DJ bhai, of course.
We need to make a collage or something for him. Yeah.
We need to just have an episode on DJ by just the Italian. Yeah, just
no. I think there should be him sitting cross-legged in a suit. The podcast is on.
Say hello to my little friend. We'll do a Scarface instead of a Godfather.
Yeah.
Varela needs DJ Y's hair care routine. यही था वो कमेंट. बाप रे, DJ is super rich it seems. बाप रे, बाप रे, Ajay Bhai's pull is insane. Yeah, Como are going mainstream. मतलब they are definitely quite talked about. Cesc Fabregas, by the way, on that note, it's confirmed that Cesc Fabregas is
He's
going to
staying.
stay at Como. So good to see
He's
that because
he's too vested. I think he's invested in the club also. So I
yeah,
think
वो
it's
club का वो जो western element है ना, that will be very key in retaining a lot of players or whatever staff.
and I feel
Uh,
Cess himself will be very important for the players to stay.
what is this comment? ये तो beef ही चालू कर रहा है शिवम internal. DJ भाई is what Ajay thinks it. He's just being sarcastic, of course.
Shivam is in mood today. He's in form.
हाँ, वो मूड में इतना कभी ट्रोल नहीं करता. ये भाई सब जेमी वार्डी, why? Just why? He's done,
Jimmy
bro.
Vardy
Like,
retired. Yeah, he retired.
yeah,
He
exactly.
gave a full statement and all,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Final,
But
listen,
exactly.
it's
please.
not sentimental
I
and
am
all.
I'm going to say it. I do not want to hear any diss about that. That man changed
Yeah.
EPL forever because people never considered him to be a decent striker. England खेल के आया. I still feel his English career should have been longer.
I mean, that
I think
Mr. Trophy winning season, what temperament, yeah.
yeah,
It's
क्या
like,
finishes the.
like
By the way,
what
he let's
finishing,
not forget
mind blowing,
he
mind blowing.
he broke Ruud van Nistelrooy's record for the most consecutive
Yeah,
like
mind blowing,
goals in
mind blowing.
consecutive games. Outstanding player. But क्या था उसका chat shit bang something क्या बोलता था वो? That was amazing.
Chat shit get banged.
Yeah, get banged.
That was a
Vardy,
classic यार. वो
Jamie Vardy
title
is a legend.
yeah, he's वो एक player है भाई. He was in your face. He was not bullshitting. जो भी था वो था
He
वैसे.
reminded me a lot, guys, but he reminded me of like a more modern day Gaza meets Robbie Fowler
Yeah.
kind of
Of course,
personality.
perfect. DJ, you hit it right.
You know,
Gaza
like
is like the perfect word because Gaza was temperamental and he didn't give two F's about anything,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like this is this is Gaza winning a trophy, but Jamie Vardy, I still remember telling all the fans I have won like two Spurs fans that I have one EPL title. Where is yours? You know, yeah,
Pointed, na, like this.
yeah, amazing. What a player, man. What a player.
Yeah. Real Madrid का Comunicado Oficial the classic आ गया है. I'm just trying to see what they've exactly said. They want appropriate measures to be taken in short. So देखते हो बारसा गेम का क्या होता है. I just will find a proper translation because I don't have the time to sit and read the whole statement right now. I hope मतलब we are trying our best to connect
Karan,
to the league.
Karan, can you please write to GXR also and the league? I think
I'm
we
sorry,
need
with all
support.
due respect, I've lost hope in GXR. I'll say it. मेरा तो गया भाई. मेरे को मैं वो
अरे
वेबसाइट
क्या बोल रहा है? अपने next collaborations का ध्यान दे.
कोलैबोरेशन क्या कुछ नहीं होने वाला डीजे में. अब स्ट्रीम देखो, स्ट्रीम नहीं हो रहा है ठीक से. एवरी स्ट्रीम
Guys, you know how I watch a UV game? First, I put it on the laptop where I go
Yeah.
onto the website.
Exactly.
Then I put on the TV on the app.
Exactly.
Then that doesn't happen. Then I try and cast it from the phone to the TV. Nothing works.
Yeah, nothing works, and that's why I'm a bit pissed because people are telling me भाई क्या हम लोग देख कैसे रहे गेम. फ्री कभी भी फ्रेम फ्रीज हो जाता है गोल होने से पहले कुछ
Listen,
important
how
होने से
many
पहले.
times
Also, you
have
guys know
restarted
that this
my
is
router?
it's exactly if you keep one of sofa score or something on, it's exactly 1 minute behind.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
all the
forget-
if you keep the
DJ
notifications on, you'll know goal 1 minute before.
DJ,
Exactly.
forget that. पहले तो GXR खुद notification दे देता था about the goal.
Yeah, correct.
Exactly. It's just
Yeah.
disappointing because what we saw, we thought there would be something, and I just hope भाई अगर नहीं वो लोग को करना है next season कोई और ले ले. अभी जाए.
अभी जब बस
Maybe-
वही बात चले. अभी मैंने एडू से बात किया है. वो बोल रहा है कि मैं आर्सेनल बेच रहा हूँ, चाहिए क्या तुमको? तो बस मेरे वॉलेट में जितना कैश था मैं ले रहा हूँ अभी आर्सेनल को.
No, I mean कुछ अगर पता नहीं क्या पता कुछ खरीद ले और भाई अभी से तेरे को हायर कर लेंगे as a sporting director, then at least we can blame you if the club dissolves quickly, right? why is Kyle Walker not starting for AC Milan? Very
He's
briefly,
injured, no?
he's
He's
injured, right?
He's injured. He's out for the
Injured,
season, I think.
Yeah. If I'm going bald if Barca win against us. Okay, भाई, that's a very big. ये भाई ये कुछ ज़्यादा ही बड़ी commitment हो गई है तेरे से. And send you the video. Wow.
We'll
I
be
mean, I
waiting.
would not. Yeah, I do think my former team Atalanta will beat Roma, but former team. What do you mean? Acha, oh, okay. He's
Ruslan है
talking
भाई.
as my. Yeah, he's talking as
Malinowski, yeah.
Malinowski. Yeah, he's
Arey, what he's
Malinowski.
talking? He is Malinowski, bro.
He's
Hello.
more than
Very,
Malinowski.
very,
But
very
guys,
bad injury this
also
season.
Malinowski at Atlanta, man. What a
Oh,
player,
What a
yeah.
player! What a player!
what shot.
And kudos to Atalanta fans in our chats who used to say Genoa miss him because ever since he's been back, Genoa have looked that much more dangerous. So
But
yeah,
listen,
uh,
whatever to come back from that injury itself is commendable, yeah.
exactly
What a
Yeah,
that.
scary injury.
Oh fuck! You just reminded me. What a terrible injury that was, DJ bhai. That was
What
too
terrible
terrible.
injury.
Yeah. Desperately want to ask on Milan, but don't want to make Chintanmay angry. At least something to look forward to in the Coppa Italia final. Please
Bro,
win.
by Prajwal, nothing makes me angry, bro. I've seen my team finish 9th, 10th, languishing.
Yeah,
Ujjwal,
we
Like,
all
nothing can take your soul like your football club, yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
we've been through the grinder with our
listen,
club.
listen,
Knowing
exactly. We've not got this gray hair because of anything. This is all
exactly.
experience. I
And
think we're used to.
the worst part is for चिंदन भाई बैंटर एरा में 9th प्लेस देखा मैंने भी बैंटर एरा में 9th प्लेस देखा but this is worse because this is after spending a lot of money on proper targeted players you could finish 8th or 9th whatever it's still horrible right
Yeah,
it's a very
exactly. Of
horrible
course. But I'm saying
as a
nothing is going to make me angry, bro.
yeah वो अभी सहन कर लिया भाई इतने सालों से एज अ फैन बहुत बहुत डिसअपॉइंटमेंट होता है दिस वाज अर्लियर टू द
Your
treble or trophy
trophy.
less conversation. Yeah, I'm just going through it very quickly. All of this right now, both Inter and Barca full of fatigue. So I do want to address this. What he says, we're out of other competitions, so maybe it is comment of fatigue. I do agree. Barca भी थोड़ा fatigue दिख रहा है. Watch their games, they do, but obviously,
But Param, they are younger. That's the
yes,
difference.
exactly. What you took the words out of.
Recovery.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I fully agree there. I saw that. See, I've been watching Barca as well, and I know Celta Vigo is one of their bogey teams. And I watched that Barca Celta Vigo game, which Barca won that crazy
Oh my God.
4-3. Yeah,
Kya
but
crazy.
Celta
Last minute, yeah.
exactly. Celta Vigo played how Inter would against them. It's just that obviously Inter को compare करोगे Celta से तो Inter has more quality. It's just that now it's about will Inter have the legs to do it at the Camp Nou. एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ Inter have a horrible record against Spanish clubs in general. The last time
Yeah.
we beat a Spanish club was
Guys, all
Valencia in that.
Italian teams. I think
Yeah, that's all
except,
Italian.
except
That's all
Milan
Italian.
somewhat, and Juve
Milan,
Madrid
Milan.
have a decent head-to-head, but other than that,
Yeah,
Italian
exactly.
teams are
I think exactly Milan have the best of the lot and Juve after that. But in general, it's a bad record against Spanish clubs. I
bad
think we can
record.
all agree.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Inter's last win against a Spanish team is, I'll tell you, Valencia 0-4-0-5. When we thrashed Valencia 5-1, 4-1, whatever that was, at the
When
best time.
Zlatan का fight हुआ था. When Zlatan
Ha, ha.
fought.
But that's how far back we have to go. Real Sociedad recently struggled and got a draw at the Anoeta. मतलब it's been quite tough. So आसान तो definitely नहीं है.
Wait, before I want to take this comment
but-
first. I want to take this comment first, and I would like to say it because I think why there is so much respect between clubs and Serie A fan. I would like to address this right now. First is
बोलो.
there is respect amongst us, like here, because
Yeah.
we know each other. I know DJ as a person. Of course, I know he's a Juventino, but I've known him as a person. पर मैं पहले DJ की बात क्यों करूं? Because I've known him personally off the channel. I've played with this man before, so there's a respect as a person. The club follows after that. With Param, Ajay, Yogesh, same thing. I know them as person. But if you go outside, there is a lot of beef. We do.
Yeah.
I can say that we do like to regulate it through our community. That guys, please calm down. But you do see a lot of heated arguments or rivalries जो काफी हम लोगों ने देखा है. So ये होता है. Is that we like to regulate it, and we are probably being the face of Calcio in India. We know each other personally, so that is why
Yeah.
the level of respect is there. And especially me, Ajay, and DJ are a little older, so we have seen it all, done it all. We know things are a little bigger, and I think a lot of PL and जो La Liga fans are a little younger. So of course, rush of blood DJ hota hai. When we were also a little younger, we were more like, oh, fuck Inter, fuck Juve. But abhi we are past that. Of course, as I said in the start of the stream before you joined in, DJ, there is I will not deny it. There is a certain level of pride I feel right now that my team stopped Inter from winning the treble. Boss, it's a big thing, you know. But yeah, but I know Param as a person. I'm not going to rub it. I might rub it into other Inter fans. Not
Ajay bhai said this to me the other days. Ajay bhai said this to me the other days. I don't want to take. He didn't give a name, but I don't want to, like make it too specific. But he said a certain Roma fan told him, "Why are you friends with a Laziale and all that?" He's like, "Bhai, wo, like अरे वो Laziale, generalizing the human side of the person." He's like, अरे वो लाजियो को सपोर्ट करता है वो बंदा. इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि मैं भाई उस पर्सन को डिसलाइक करूंगा. there's no reason to dislike the person. It makes no sense for blind hatred. And also, जैसे चिंता मैंने बोला, the rivalry is there. आप Twitter खोलो, Serie A internal beef is crazy. वो बस, as Chintan Bhai said, we have a good rapport. And also, the thing is, I think all of us, DJ will agree, we've been watching football for far too long to get into unnecessary argument. It just,
And
I think
also,
we're past that.
I think we're united by the greater good of just, people
Yeah.
being made aware of what the Calcio story is, right? Like, we've seen the dearth of that information for fans coming in.
Exactly.
But that's not to say all of us, Jolly, believe it or not, all of us have an inner Yogesh where we only care about our teams. We only
Yeah,
care
yeah,
about
of
our
course.
team's result.
Of course,
We only
like,
care about our team winning.
yeah.
If you ask me per se, of course, I don't want Inter to win a title,
Yeah.
or
And I don't
I don't
expect that also. I do
but
not
it does
expect
not
the rival
mean
to support
like
Inter.
it does not mean that I won't respect Param. Like Chintan very correctly said, we are all bound by a greater purpose,
Greater
and
purpose.
we all respect that purpose. And I think that's the way that we can build
I
this community.
Exactly, and
So
I want to bring up something before we move on from this. Ek baar, so when you remember when we did the fine, DJ Bhai usually does not join us for watch alongs, but DJ Bhai, what happened? We had done the Europa League final watch along last season, Atalanta Leverkusen, right? And I think Chintan Bhai, you were there, I was there,
Yeah.
Ajay Bhai was there, and we celebrated Atalanta's goal. I was in an Inter jersey, you were wearing Milan jersey, and Ajay Bhai was
Yeah.
wearing the Roma kit. And there was this I don't know, I was going through our feed, and some channel had clipped all these reactions to the Europa League final, and ours was there on it, like a channel with thousands of subscribers. I don't know how it popped on our feed, and उसमें मैंने क्यों क्लिक किया, because thumbnail में हमें हमारा चेहरा दिखा. That's why I was like, what the hell is
Yeah.
going on? Why is some other channel picking up our stuff? तो मैं देखा खोल के, and I saw the comments. People are like, what are these plastic fans celebrating Atalanta's goal? How is an Interista celebrating an Atalanta goal? How is a Milanista? मैं तो हंसा, मुझे बहुत हंसी आई, because I was like, as you said, we were more looking at it from the greater good. Like, I do not like Gasperini. You ask me right now, I cannot stand the guy.
Of course.
Like, yeah, I don't have anything against Atalanta. I'm very neutral towards Atalanta. But I don't like Gasperini. But the point is, Atalanta did something historic that night. They stopped an unbeaten Leverkusen. So
no, but by the
that
way, Param, and let's not forget, even being selfish over here is I want Atlanta to win because coefficient badega. I need more teams in the Champions League. And Aloo Biryani, I'm not saying I will support Inter in the Champions League. Okay, इतना तो मैं भी नहीं चाहूँगा. I said I
how,
think Inter will win the
how
Champions
would you
League.
and I, with due respect, of course, to Param, we may say it on the channel, but obviously we will not be happy if Inter won the Champions League,
Yeah,
right?
of course not.
Yeah.
Bro,
As
like,
you would
listen,
not be happy if Juve won, or I would not be happy if
I
Milan
don't-
won.
I don't even expect any rival to
exactly.
support Inter.
Param, वही बोला था, I expect my rival. So Aloo Biryani, like if there's let's just hypothesize, if it's Inter versus Arsenal in the Champions League final, Param, everyone knows I have a soft spot for Arsenal. I am going to be
Yeah,
rooting
I
for
know that.
Arsenal, and of course
I
we
know.
all want Inter reaching a final is more than enough for me because हाँ चलो वो coefficient points मिल गए. But I'm very happy if Inter does not win a treble. Like if example, like I'll be very happy. So I want
Well,
Napoli.
like you said, you're happy that your team stopped Inter from winning a
Of
treble.
course,
For
Exactly,
example,
exactly.
right?
I mean, that exactly my point.
and
That would be true for any of our teams in the same situation.
Absolutely,
And I think,
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
it doesn't affect the respect.
had Milan not been kicked out of the Champions League, how we were kicked out, I would be very happy that Juventus were kicked out where they were kicked out. Of course, it does affect the league indirectly because right now, why are we all together is because we are all fighting for the greater good because we want more coefficient points. And yes, someone pointed out one thing is that eventually, other than Param, almost all of us end up supporting the national team together. So we do have a lot of players. Like I have a lot of respect for Barella because I want him to do well. in the
Yeah,
national
we have
team.
players that overlap, right? Fair.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Hopefully next season,
I think we
Chins will be supporting Tonali at Juve.
No, but like, एक चीज, just to close that point, make no mistake, the rivalry is very intense. वो आपको
we are just
community में
we are being very civil on camera.
देखो, क्योंकि नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, वी वो मतलब फालतू के झगड़े एक तो हमें पसंद नहीं, और ऊपर से देयर इज नो पॉइंट, लाइक अगेन, बट द पॉइंट इज द राइवलरी इज वेरी मच देयर. आप ट्विटर देखो, इटली में जाके देखो, इट्स वेरी इंटेंस. आई वुड से आप जो इंग्लैंड का रेफरेंस रहे हो उससे भी ज्यादा इंटेंस
No,
है.
Param. He meant I think India, but in India also you see we know in the group में क्या होता है.
Yeah, I know.
We are just,
I meant the PL as the reference. I meant the PL as
no,
the
I think
reference.
we are PL fans. I think we
Yeah.
regulate a lot of Indian fans over here because had we give them a loose hand, and I'll just keep saying it that मेरे लिए I would love to rub it in DJ के लिए if we beat a Juve, but I love DJ as a person. I love Param as a person. So I know where to draw my line, and we all know how we have suffered with each other. And I know I'll be chilling with DJ, hanging out with him. And if we see, let's say, Param, I'll just give you a small
The
example. हम लोग
rivalry doesn't get on the in the way,
yeah.
100%.
So
It
I'll
doesn't
give you a
get in
small
the
example, DJ. When we had a game where we saw Milan versus Juve game, हम लोग सबने एक छोटा प्लान किया था. Unfortunately, Juve fans couldn't turn up, but हम लोग ने प्लान किया था that Milan and Juve fans will all come together and sing Kino Salta Nera Zuro because to Param, because Param would be the only Interista. So that is what we want. But yeah, that leaving aside, I like Param as a person. So Inter tak theek hai, but of course I would not. People I think in India or general fans don't realize when they cross that line and get personal, which I would
Yeah,
never
yeah,
do it.
Yeah,
yeah. That's
that's
I
why
think
I
pretty
feel
much.
like all fans, whether you're an EPL fan or a La Liga fan, I think every fan must draw that line of respect where they're able to see that they're not talking to the person, they're talking to the club. And many young fans that are coming in now to the fold don't realize and recognize that,
I think
right?
the young DJ they might just get. I
Yeah.
think might get better because I feel we were like this too when I
Yes,
was. I
yes, of
think
course,
I
of
look
course.
nothing like my friend
Also,
Drew. Of course, you
but
knew him.
also Chins, also I think as Italian fans of our clubs, we've been through a lot more than teams in La Liga and maybe EPL.
Yeah,
Now
all of us because
United
like
fans are a little bit on that journey, but I think we've been
yeah,
in we've been through the grinder. Yeah, we've been
And
through.
plus, I think DJ seeing like you, me, Ajay, seeing our team win the World Cup live, just kind of killed that barrier between
yeah,
us because what happens is
Completely.
okay,
Yeah,
we saw
sure.
like a Totti taking a penalty. I was like, please Totti, please score that penalty
Yeah,
against
yeah, 100.
Australia,
No,
something like
also,
that.
but since also I think we also have that respect. Right? I respect Totti. Like I don't think he's the sharpest knife in the drawer in terms of an intelligent guy,
Yeah, yeah, he's
but
a very hot-headed guy. Yeah,
he's an icon, and you have to respect that. And like the way he's played with Italy,
I
I'm
think DJ,
a Del Piero fan, but I respect Totti
you
100%.
you you
Why
hit the nail completely. I think what happens with other fans is they end up they take pride in not just talking big about their own players but dissing the other players, which I don't
Yeah,
think will ever happen in Serie A because that we had like magnitude of superstars was something else which
yeah,
I think
yeah,
football has never seen. To have
correct,
so many superstars.
correct.
exactly.
I saw a video of a derby, Param, to Manega in 2005. Of course, the big derby with all the superstars of the
Hmm.
Ronaldinhos and the Kakas and the Zanettis. And Colina was the referee. He said the only bad thing about this match and this lineup is not even the referees, might just be the pitch, because the pitch might have some something on the pitch. So he said that is the level of superstardom the league has seen. So I will never diss a Zanetti. Let's not forget Paolo Maldini got so much respect on his last game when he played last time against Inter, where they had like, you are the best rival we ever had. It's a great
Hmm.
gesture. Of course, we've seen the dark side also, but I'm just saying that we've seen superstars. So I'll never diss a Totti or a to
Yeah,
heck,
yeah.
like I'll say Del Piero is my favorite player.
And again, just to close this, भाई मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि Italian football में terrible incidents, they are not to glorify by the way, पर हो चुके rival. Like there has been, I keep saying this, there has been one incident. Maybe I'll have to talk about it in a short, not to glorify it, but Bologna Fiorentina rivalry not spoken about enough. Like there was a case where there was a situation where दोनों fans में झगड़ा हुआ था और somebody got burnt during that. The rivalry is very real, yeah, guys.
Oh, Param, let's not forget there's an Inter fan I think who hung himself with depression. Mein, I still remember there was a thing and Milan fans mocked that thing that I want all of you guys. So there is of course dark side of all these things.
There are
There was a banner
unfortunate
with
sides.
Milan
Yeah.
fans. Unfortunately, the Curva also kind of went against it. So there was a banner which saying that I hope all 11 Inter players go through the same thing what this kid went through. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's
Yeah,
going
there
beyond
is
the.
a dark side which you don't glorify, obviously, but yeah, वही to show that it can go to some deep extent as well. वो सब देखना उतना deep किसी को पसंद नहीं, honestly. That's too much. But yeah, there is a dark side to it. Krish again, Genoa fan, he is optimistic कि Napoli will drop points on against Genoa on the 36 game day. यार देख ऐसे तो errors ना, वो एक तो Inzaghi told him don't take the piss out of me and don't add 3 more minutes because he wanted the players to get rest. If you're making a big deal out of that, ऐसे तो मैं बोलूंगा भाई, give me the foul, give me the penalty which we didn't get against Bologna. Simple logic. We would have won that game 3 more points. Bring that up as well. Do more collabs with Drogba. But yes, we
Course.
have that in the works. We have that in the works. Baba के channel पे मैं और अजय भाई गए थे, अजय भाई more so, and he's definitely willing to come on board for the Chelsea into Italian connection वाला video. So glad to know. Uh, Rio is there. Vincenzo Italiano fans, as we can see. Rank these 5 players. Just I don't want any explanation. Very quickly, one of you guys can rank these. Just
Wow.
like
What
कुछ
a
भी पढ़.
lineup!
Yeah,
Is this the Milan Savicevic? Chins?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the 94,
yeah,
the
yeah.
beautiful goal
'94.
scorer.
Savicevic.
Easy for me. I mean, Chins, you want to go first or should I?
I shall very hard for me to put. I'm a big Redondo fan. I love
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Redondo.
love
love him,
Redondo.
love
मुझे
him, love
Redondo
him, love
बहुत
him.
Well,
पसंद है.
and the worst part is we got him. We got him, and bloody injury ruined him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not Hagi and Baggio. I would like to put them because I've not seen them much. I love Redondo. I'll put him first. I'll go with
Whoa,
Baggio.
what are you saying? Yeah,
Oh, big.
Roberto
I know,
Baggio.
I know, but I've not seen his peak. I can probably go with that. I very hard, very hard. I think I'll go with. I love Redondo. I'll go first Redondo, Baggio, Rui Costa, Savicevic, and Hagi.
What are you saying, Haji
Fair enough.
last?
DJ bhai,
The
what do you
players
think?
I have probably seen. And that's why I'm just going by
I
the players
mean,
I've seen.
of course
You have
you've
seen
seen
though.
Haji. You were saying '94, you would have seen him.
Yeah, but I was a kid. Him and Baggio
Fair,
was a little
fair,
unfair.
fair,
Like
fair.
Haji
No,
and Baggio.
Baggio won, yeah. Any list, Baggio's won for me. Any list. Del Piero also on that list. Baggio still won. RG two. I personally, since I don't know, I don't want to be mean, but I think Rui Costa is not in this conversation at this.
Yeah, of
Savicevic
course.
also, for that time, the Montenegrins were very solid. Yugoslavia, very solid players.
Listen,
Um,
for me,
but
Savicevic is
Baggio,
just for that
Haji,
Barca goal. For that
huh?
Barca goal in the Champions League final, he lobbed bloody from the left position, left wing. He lobbed it inside. For me, that goal is amazing. But
So
yeah, you're right. Out
I think
Rui Costa,
he has more on him. I think he has more on him than Rui Costa.
of course.
Good player, but I don't think Costa's in this convo. I think Baggio, Haji, Redondo, Savicevic, Costa.
Wow, fair enough. Uh, we have Bologna have been excellent again this season. Italy have done an excellent job with all the additional stress this season, losing key players. Agreed. We've all discussed this. Same comment. Yeah, that's quite strange. I mean,
This
but
is
there I need to
unbelievable.
read.
It's unbelievable how he can be sacked. Unbelievable. I'm
Yeah,
pissed off.
definitely. Ajay bhai ka opinion is pe की रहेगा because he has a soft spot for Leeds United. Kabir from our fan club says dialing in a bit late here, but Inter better win this. If we don't, he'll be one of the all-time choke jobs. I know
No, I
Kabir.
don't agree.
He's
I know I don't agree, yeah, Kabir. I think that's unfair to say. Look, the choke is really the you can call the choke where it's coming down to this funnel of the last 5 or 6 games. You can't really call it a choke because there are so many variables, right? Players can get injured. Your schedule is jam packed. The Pope has passed away. Suddenly you're losing a day. From Saturday to Sunday. Yeah, it's unfair to say choke. I mean, if at this stage of the season you're competing on all three fronts, I'd say it's a fair season. Yes, should a team like Inter come away with something? Yes. If not the
probably. Yeah.
Coppa, then the Scudetto. But to say it's a choke, I don't think so. Fatigue is a big factor, yeah, guys. These guys are human beings. You know,
Yeah,
choke,
agreed, agreed.
choke would be also how you lose, right? Like if you end up
Hmm.
losing 3-love to Milan, 3-love to Barca, 3-love to Roma, that's a choke.
Yeah,
But if you're running
yeah.
out of gas and you're just gassed, it's
We
unfair to
so
say choke.
we remember we also lost 3-0 to Fiorentina once, but उसके बाद we had bounced. तभी भी वो game में मुझे याद है fatigue, but we had bounced right back up. Let's see, let's see. I think 10 points from this run gets us UCL, says Ruslan Malinowski. Do you think he was going the right way in his tactical setup till considering? So far, yes, I would
Too
say very
early,
quickly, but
too early,
too
too early.
early, too early. Yes, but again मैं
See,
बोलूँगा
the
Kibu.
problem is now any coach that comes in the middle of the season always looks good, and it's such a booby trap
Exactly.
because then that coach gets the reins for the whole season,
Yeah,
and they're not qualified for the job.
what I will say about
But I
yeah,
did see, I did like the way Kivu managed the game against Juve. It was nice. His in-game management was fantastic. His reading of the game he's an amazing player. So of course that's going to be there. But too early, yeah, too early.
yeah, again
Listen, for the
Kibu
guys,
last.
how are you guys seeing Kivu? Like, I cannot imagine Q without his headgear. Like, but I can't get over it. He's not wearing his headgear. It's like Peter Cech without that. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
मैंने उसको honestly was coaching the Inter Primavera before this तो बहुत देख ही लेता. It does not look like him obviously without the headgear, but quite used to it now personally. But yeah, see, I agree with DJ bhai. He was coaching the Primavera before this. He won a league title. He did a decent job, but there is a long way to go for him. He has a lot to learn and a lot to grow. So एकदम से judge नहीं कर सकते. Mota to Atalanta, good question because I've seen some links and everything. Let's see if it goes in that direction. Yeah, this is the comment that made headlines. Obviously, realize many things that cannot be done here. Like as DJ Bhai said, when you're in a position to win the Scudetto, literally you can't be doing this. I'm sorry.
Listen, if Milan was somewhere linked with him, even if he gives us like 10 league titles in a row, I would never want a manager like this in my club because I know
Yeah,
when he
it's
Guys,
leaves,
just
he's going to
honestly,
give a mess.
I mean, let's be real. If Conte's not played for your team, he's a Juventino, so of course I'll always have a soft spot. He's a legend. But if he wasn't a Juventino, I wouldn't want him nowhere near my club. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
exactly.
manager,
Look, I
as a
also
manager,
agree.
player,
I,
balls, temperament, grinta. He's that ideal midfielder, not stop
yeah,
running. You know, but manager, the guy is just like he will never change. Like you
he'll
can't.
never change.
He's done this everywhere. It's unbelievable. Even
Crazy.
Mourinho has left in better ways than Conte. You know,
He
so
he he left with all due respect and इंटर फॉर टॉटनम जो उसको इवेंचुअली समझ में आ गया टॉटनम में क्या चल रहा था एंड आई I'm not even disrespecting Tottenham. The point is he had the world at Inter just because Lukaku बेच दिया ये वो he lost the point is I agree with you. Like I actually liked what he did. He built us he got us to a certain level from which Simone Inzaghi could build, but he just does not have the control. And if
I
he
think
leaves Napoli,
he leaves with a mess. Yeah, that's what I don't like it. To
yeah,
clear his job is
since he comes in,
he
you see you can't build a project with Conte. You
you
want
can't.
to win immediately. He's the guy. He's like that injection shot. He'll get you going. The players will live in fear. They'll start playing patterns on the field. All that will happen. But when he leaves you worse than when he received you.
एंड व्हेन ही
You know?
डज गुड इट्स ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ हिम मेनली जो आप उसका कोई भी मोस्टली
Yeah,
देखोगे और कुछ
100%.
बुरा हो रहा है तो मेरी गलती नहीं है इवेंचुअली हाथ ऊपर कर देता सिंपल
100%.
लॉजिक है
No.
Hey,
But
look,
also
I'm
the thing I don't like about Conte is neutrally speaking, if we were both not Juventinos at heart, the thing about Conte is like he has no respect for the management above him, his employers. I'm
yeah,
not
he
saying
does not.
our managements all are shit. Okay, I'm not
Hmm.
saying that. But I'm saying these are your employers. You have
Employers
to have that respect.
agreed.
You
I
know,
agree. This is exactly
it's
even
like
if
I don't know if you guys know this. When he left Juve in the first cycle, now Juve is the one who's made him a world coach, right? If
yeah
he's left in the first cycle the way he did with the very people who hired him, he fought and he left in the middle of your preseason. What kind of respect does that show as an individual to
yeah,
people
I
who have
agree.
given you
I
this
agree.
chance to prove yourself,
Same. He
right?
disrespected Marotta. He left. I just it is what it is. That's I just मैं वही बोलता हूँ नापोली फैंस को जो डिफेंड करते हैं आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू गाइस आर रॉन्ग टू डिफेंड हिम माय पॉइंट इज ही इज ऑलरेडी डिसरिस्पेक्टिंग यू एंड देन इफ ही वॉक्स आउट let's see even if he wins the scudetto and he walks out
He's going to walk out either way, Param, because he's
yeah
already
that's what
now fought
it
with
is
the
still
Tifosi.
it is still disrespectful because bhai
Yeah.
then it'll look like कि
See,
भाई आया
I can understand frustration, but you got to
yeah
do it in a way where this man is paying your salary. You have to show that hierarchy and respect to
yeah
ADL.
I agree
Troublesome as he is, but
what
they've
if
sold Paria and not replaced him. Fair enough, but that
I
is a frustration you talk about end of the season when you see your eventual result, right?
yeah
You
he,
don't throw your players
this
and your chances under the
DJ, this
bus.
might just be he might just act like this was a springboard of him getting back to management. Now being poached by another club, he'll be like happily moving along. Yeah,
look वही तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि वो ऐसा दिखेगा इफ ही डज लीव नापोली इवन आफ्टर विनिंग दिस ऐसा दिखेगा हाँ ये आ गया वापस नापोली इसने इसका करियर रिवाइव कर लिया बिकॉज लास्ट स्टिंट उसका अच्छा गया नहीं चलो ट्रॉफी जीत के मैं कहीं और चला जाता हूँ फिर से अपना करियर को बैठ इट लुक्स
and even if
बैड ऑन
You guys
even if they
know,
do
right?
win,
Because Agnelli was at Juve,
हाँ
under Agnelli. There are 3 times Conte has reached out to the club to want to come back. Three
या
times he's been rejected. Now
या
it's because Agnelli is not there. There is now a slight opening because Giuntoli is different. He's not from the Agnelli team, etc. Where
या
the conversations began. Elkan is open given where the team is, etc. But Juve also did not appreciate how he left. It was almost like a Conte embargo, for the time that Andrea Agnelli was there.
even I feel even if he does leave Napoli after winning the Scudetto, he's just going to say that it's all on me about like because
Yeah.
of me they won the Scudetto. Yeah, had I
अरे
not been
अरे
there, they would
मेरे
have not
पास
been top
मैंने
four.
मेरे
But
मेरे
since
ट्वीट
to be fair, that is true, na?
That
Because
is true. That is true.
I mean, when do we remember in recent memory a team going from 10th place to winning a Scudetto?
yeah
And
that
forget
see
that.
that's what I wanted to say.
I mean, the man is he's a
He
erratic
is good.
genius, but
He is a
eccentric, but
genius.
he's amazing. Yeah,
Exactly, he is good. I do want to give him that, and I think Napoli are doing a very good job, even as a competitor right now with them for the Scudetto. I do agree they are good, doing a good job. It's just that, as you said, unnecessary चीजें जो ये लाता है, it just it's so annoying to see, even
yeah,
objectively. It's just too
yeah.
annoying to see. But
It's very
let me just
hard
say,
for him if you don't have a Juve bone in you. It's very
yeah,
hard to see Conte as your manager, right?
agreed, agreed. Let
Very
me just take
painful.
a let me just take a last few comments, guys. Again, sorry if I've missed some of them. A lot of comments coming in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, 1.63k, 2k is the next goal directly. So keep supporting. I'll take a few comments. We'll play that one small game, whatever Shivam has shared, and we can close this stream. बहुत लंबा चला इसीलिए. Yeah, Jade says is a very good centre back. ये predictions तो मैंने ले लिए थे. Uh, Serie A still stuck in the 60s. No, it is not getting 5 spots. It's officially done. Lazio जब knockout हो गई. It's only 4 spots now. That's why it's a bit more tight. Yeah. Barca initially it was rejected. Yeah. Especially wait what? Sorry, I hate Inter, but I hope Inter wins against Barca just because I would like to have 5 spots. 5 spots either way नहीं आ रहा है अंकित. Either way हम लोग जीते तो भी नहीं आ रहा है. नहीं नहीं इट्स ऑफिशियली डन यार. लाजियो मतलब हार गया तभी खत्म हो गया था.
This was about
Uh,
3 months ago, guys. 2 months ago.
yeah. What would your expectations for UAB if they pull off Conte? Very just you don't just off the top of your head, if you just wanted to give something, list something more than explain.
I think top two, top three. This team has it. Even this team has it. It's just they need that little bit of a leadership integration. You need a couple of signings of experienced players. The young guys are good. There's a good core, to build around. If Conte comes, I would like to think yeah, top two, top three is possible next season. Winning it
Yeah,
is anyone's guess, but again, guys, like we discussed earlier, anyone can win it next season. I feel
yeah.
Inter will be in for a bit of a rejig. Napoli will be unstable again.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll be. Yeah,
Atlanta will be going through an opening of a cycle. Juve actually have a good shout next season, given that this core is moving into season two. So let's
हाँ
see.
यूए विल हैव अ बिट सेटल टीम. हम लोग का थोड़ा शायद यंग हो जाए. देखते हैं. गुड 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 पॉइंट देयर. Yes, we are looking at something. So देखते हैं. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll work out. Wait, sorry. Let me just take a couple more. Hi, this has to be trolling. Like this has to be trolling. I mean, मैंने देखा नहीं अभी तक Twitter, but this has to be pure trolling. Uh, Best thing is, I think he's talking about Italian fans का जो point था. When international tournament happens, they support Italy together. Like, yeah, I think he pretty much understood the point. नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, जरूरी नहीं है. अगेन डीजे भाई pretty much answered it. I have watched all league properly. The whole of Serie A. At certain times, Serie A fans are more matured, unlike PL और La Liga. एक तो मेरे को ये इसका देख के बेस्ट लगता है कि भाई इसने जेनोआ को इतना सीरियसली ले लिया है. Like that's good to see. Thoughts on Napoli with Conte and Atalanta with a new manager and Bologna doing bad and UCL will not make Serie A. भाई देख एक चीज बोलूंगा ना. whoever qualifies for the Champions League qualifies on merit. Like if people say अरे Bologna is in the Champions League, yes it's a risk, but then at the end of the day the other clubs didn't do their job. With all due respect to Roma last
But
season यार देख.
yeah, Param, that's so true now. What you're saying and the question also makes so much sense. It
Yeah,
it is sad because it's a bit of a vicious cycle because what happens is with absolute due respect to Bologna coming into the Champions League at the expense of a Juve is hurting the league more. But how do
I
we bridge that? That's
yeah,
why I really wanted the Super League because uh,
I agree.
at the end of the day, would you rather see Bologna versus Barca or Juve versus Barca? That was his thinking, right?
No, I
Now,
yeah,
eh,
I get that. I get
you're
that.
right. I mean, but the way to do it is it's a sport. You have to come through competition.
Exactly. But
So that's the
I'm not saying
sad
it
thing
doesn't
because
hurt.
unfortunately, what's going to happen is Italiano is going to get signed by the next club that wants to start a project. Bologna's
Yeah.
players are going to be destabilized because these players are good enough to get you in the top four in Italy. Means they are good squad players in England and in Spain. Then Bologna gets destabilized, goes into the Champions League and gets smashed. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying?
I agree. No, I get.
That's the sad part of all of this.
Yes,
Like,
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's just that वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि last season भी there was a point Chintan where Roma had it in their hand and they messed it up, right? मतलब it was there in their hands. So that's the vicious cycle as DJ by saying last couple of comments and I'm closing it, guys. We'll just quickly Inter को Champions League जीतना है, guys. Did you see MSG that sorry the message that Madrid is deciding? हाँ देखा, we discussed it very quickly. अभी भी आ रहे हैं चिंतन में कि they're considering not showing up for the final. So
But then it'll be a loss. It'll be a three.
yeah,
Walkover करवा देंगे.
exactly. It'll be a loss. One of my favorite CB. ये चिंतन में आप सिर्फ रैंक करो, कुछ एक्सप्लेन मत करो Zanetti की वो. I mean, this is more of an
R9 without Chintan saying it, R9, R9, R9.
yeah, R9.
So if I have to rank, I have to rank. तो भी एक rank कर लेते तो I would go with. I'm a big Vieri fan also. Like so, I feel.
Yeah, Bobo, love him.
Of course,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For Zanetti, I would go R9 Zanetti. Vieri.
एक टास्क फॉर हर कम्युनिटी. भाई देखो बोबोवेरी को ना इंग्लिश बोलना आती है. वी हैव डिस्कस दिस. ही इज वेरी ऑस्ट्रेलियन इन आर्ट. उसको टैग करना चालू करो और बोलो इधर आ जाए चैनल पे एक स्ट्रीम के लिए. That's the best you can do. At
Who
least.
does not remember Nicholas Bentner at Juve, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Lord
That was
Bentner. Listen,
Legend.
no disrespect. Please, I will not like it if you disrespect the Lord. He's Lord Bentner.
Lord Bentner, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
How Vince, do you remember? It was Bentner and Anelka in that lineup.
Yeah.
Can't get over it, man. I can't get over it.
Crazy.
For the life of me.
You had Bentner, we got Senderos. So
Oh, really, it could be worse.
But yeah,
Wow.
guys, एक लास्ट चीज मुझे बस लेनी है. दिस इज मोर टू डू विथ आई थिंक लेट मी ट्राई दिस इफ दिस हैपेंस. ये शायद ना हो जाए. Okay, this is easy. This will be DJ Bhai versus Chintan, and the comments can pitch in as well. Okay. Okay, I'm pulling this up, guys. This is like a mini game which we've been doing DJ Bhai for the last few streams, just to kind of make things interesting, more interesting. Not that our streams are boring. You basically have to look at the career path and guess the player. Okay. ये मैं नहीं compete करूंगा, आप दोनों का against होगा. Comments can chip in. So like Shivam has sent me this and he's blurred out obviously some of the clubs. AC Milan, Latina. हाँ.
उसे मेरे को भी भाई मेरे को दिख नहीं रहा है, तो तेरे को जूम इन करना पड़ेगा.
It's true, this thing.
Let me.
भाई
This is.
कितने सारे. How many blurred, bro? This is like पूरा blur कर दिया उसने.
इसने पूरा blur कर दिया, but he made it more challenging, I guess. Whatever it is. Let me just zoom in properly. If this is this visible to you guys? Is it visible?
Oh. Yeah.
हाँ, so this is an active player if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's active still. I mean, he's not retired yet. He is still active and
Yeah, look at this, यार.
देखो, I mean, इसका क्लब देखो आप. आपका recent क्लब देखो आप इसका.
ये तेरे को पता है?
मेरे को पता है, शिव ने मुझे भेजा है इसलिए. दीजिए, आपको क्या लगता है? इज स्ट्राइकर. चलो ये भी बोल देता हूँ मैं आपको.
No chance. I wouldn't know.
हाँ?
No idea. But I think the clue is in seeing where he is currently.
You can see his last club, right? I mean, दिख रहा है
No,
आपको?
the comment is blocking.
Oh, okay, wait. I'll just hide it. Just hold on. Chintan bhai, can you hide that? हाँ, रुको.
Wait,
Sorry,
hide कर देना.
कर दिया. रुको. फिर से दिखाता हूँ. This is not like it's a kind of famous name. I would say it's not like overly famous. यार आप लोग comments में भी try करो. It's a striker. Again, he plays for a club. He plays for a club in the Serie A currently. I mean, ये 23-24 का उसका path last है. उसने 24-25 का नहीं डाला है.
अरे Chins, he scored against Juve this season. Cagliari, Juve.
Cagliari was his previous club. He's not in Cagliari currently. ये भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ. Cagliari में नहीं है वो अभी. वो मैं बोल नहीं सकता ना.
अरे वही तो बोलना परम. But I think I know this. I think
इतना सा. Is it Colombo? Is it Colombo?
It's not Colombo, but I wouldn't say it's a this guy. Okay, this guy is old. He's not young. Old है, out of shape है. हाँ?
Andrea Petegna.
Yeah, Petagna, correct.
With P.
No, it is Petagna. He's right.
Petagna. He scored against Juve this season. Right?
This season. No, not this
Arey,
season.
you
Na?
said he's out of shape now. What is? Wait, let me
Yeah.
see what he did.
Let me
It,
pull up
it,
one
it,
more.
Arey,
इतना
Let me.
इतना सारा ब्लडी लोन तो कोलंबो और पेटनिया का ही हो सकता है. साले इतने लोन पे गए ना वो लोग बाहर.
या मैं हिंट्स देना नहीं चाहता था इस पे क्योंकि बहुत बहुत आसान था. एक और है मेरे पास, एक और सेरिया प्लेयर का, एंड देन वी कैन क्लोज दिस स्ट्रीम. पर इसमें ना शिवम ने नाम लिख के दे दिया. लेट मी ट्राई टू हाइड इट वेरी क्विकली. Chitan by cheating from chat. Hints, अरे Shivam, I know you, Shivam, you sent hints, but I didn't want to make it so easy. Also, like, hey, come on, again,
अब विजय साले
guys.
तेरे को कल से मैं सपोर्ट नहीं करूंगा. आर्सेनल करता हूँ. अबे यार कितने सारे
So wait,
यार
wait.
इतने लोन. आई हेट ऑल दीस लोन प्लेयर्स. वेरी सो पिसिंग ऑफ
Yeah,
मैन.
so see again, Hellas Verona is one of his clubs, but there is another Serie A club in there जो उसने blur
अरे
किया
भाई
है.
तू पहले जूम कर. एक तो वैसे बहुत छोटा दिखता है मेरे को
नहीं, मैं
इधर से.
इसमें और जूम करूंगा ना. उसने क्या किया ना, शिवम ने गलती से नाम लिख के भेज दिया इसमें क्लब का, तो मैं और जूम इन करूंगा.
Player का नाम कि क्लब का नाम?
प्लेयर का नाम.
Was the club in the middle Milan again?
नो, आई मीन वो तो नहीं बोल सकता ना मैं.
Is it a top four Serie A club?
इन
Top four
Is
प्रेजेंट
it
डे
Serie A.
टेबल,
consistent?
प्रेजेंट डे टेबल के हिसाब से बोल रहे हो
No,
आप?
no. Seven Sisters. Is it from the Seven Sisters?
सेवन सिस्टर्स में है ये. सेवन सिस्टर्स में. अभी इसके अलावा मैं और कोई
I
hint दे
think
दूंगा.
it's a Milan guy only.
अबे क्या? Look at the. Is it
Param, is he
2014?
currently active?
सॉरी,
Is he presently active as a player? Can't be ना.
ये बोलूं
2000.
क्या मैं? ये हिंट दूंगा तो
अबे the
रुको.
hint हुआ क्या? 2006 से खेला. I don't see he can
Okay,
be currently active.
let me see. He is of course active, but the thing is, this is a player that was wanted. ये हिंट दूंगा ना तो बहुत ऑब्वियस हो जाएगा. This is a player
Listen,
that
me and DJ are very bad at all these things. Even if you give us an obvious hint, we might not get it. So
Yeah.
no, okay, let me give okay, I'll give it to you. This was a player wanted badly by a certain coach at one point, but that coach did not get the player in Italy.
अबे
अभी आप सोचो, put two and two together. मैं बोल रहा हूँ badly wanted by a coach.
for the national team.
No, for his club. National team के लिए नहीं रे. This was a player wanted by a coach in Italy this decade, 2010 और 2020 के बीच में मैं बोल रहा हूँ, for his club, and the coach did not get
First
him.
of all, listen, this can't be a striker, यार. 44 games,
He's not-
3 goals.
He's not a striker, but he's an attacker. चलो मतलब आपको पता चल जाता है अटैकर
या
में विंगर हो.
ऐसा फालतू अटैकर. 44
हाँ.
games, 3 goals.
देखो कमेंट्स में किसी ने लोग गेस
No,
कर रहे हैं.
but you also see his appearances, na? Only during his time at Verona and all you saw appearances. So also injury plagued.
Yeah. But परम यार, this is unfair. तू नीचे के तो टीम्स ही नहीं दिखा रहा है कर मतलब
अरे
2008.
मैं
तीन
दिखा
teams are not there, यार परम कैसे?
See, Hellas, the other Serie A clubs are blurred, and that's all I can show you because उसके नीचे उसका नाम है प्लेयर का. तो वो मैं
अच्छा,
दिखा
so
दूंगा.
did he play for Milan, like Milan, the three of
No,
our clubs?
no.
I think he played for the Milan teams.
कमेंट्स में किसी ने गेस कर लिया. You guys have to just pick one of those names. चलो उतना देता हूँ. People have guessed Samuele Longo. People have guessed Carlos Bacca. People have guessed Juan Iturbe. अब तीन
अच्छा
में
ओके,
से
एक काम कर. Nationality तो बता दे. Is he South American?
हाँ?
See
South
where he
American
played,
है.
since I think he's
No, see now if I give the nationality, people comments में pick कर लेंगे. आप comments ही देख लो. You just have to pick anyone. It's between Longo, Bacca और Iturbe. One of these three.
It can't be Carlos Bacca. Carlos
Iturbe.
Bacca cannot be.
it's Iturbe because
It is
the
Iturbe.
guy who wanted
It
him
is
badly
Iturbe.
was Conte and
Conte, and he
he
threw
didn't
a
get him.
fit. It is Iturbe.
That's the
It is
time he quit. He quit because of Iturbe.
Iturbe, exactly. Iturbe ही है. Juan Iturbe.
Dude, this is too many clubs cancelled.
Too many
Like
clubs.
Roma
too many
था.
clubs.
और बहुत नहीं तो आसान हो जाता. बढ़िया.
मेरे को एक भेजा है उसने. तू अपलोड वो भी
हाँ.
कर ले. I have guessed it.
Last.
Like I think Shivam knows. I have already guessed it. It was very easy for me. I'll just send it to you, Param. You can upload it.
Very last एक करके we'll close the stream, guys. But
Yeah.
again,
एक है Param. I've sent it to you. I guessed it. It was very easy for me.
Param will get this. Yeah, he'll get
ये
it.
कौन है?
अपलोड कर. मैं तेरे को भेजा है.
रुको हाँ कर रहा हूँ. एक मिनट. शेयर कर रहा हूँ. एक मिनट. ये कौन है पर? This is quite strange. DJ again. अरे शिवम, I tried. मैं we veered on a different track. चलेगा यार, but at least तूने एक क्विज भेजा, वही काफी है. इतना मजा तो आ रहा है करने में.
अच्छा, यस शिवम, वो परम मेरे को भेज, अगली बार मैं बताऊंगा. सो it's fairly easy for us. It was fairly easy, but start. You can. I'll start give you hints. If I give you 1-2 hints, so you'll guess it in some time only, sir.
But yeah, you start giving hints because ये already थोड़ा
First,
DJ में क्या लग रहा है आपको?
first team, first club, and the last club is the same.
First club and last club is
The
the same.
2013-15 and the 22-23 clubs was the same club.
I'm also looking at what people are guessing in case they guess before me.
Astro.
And no. This and this is the 17-23 is one of the most, like abhi ke liye, one of the most attractive Serie A club.
Sorry, what was that? Come again?
17-23 का क्लब है, तो जो भी सेरिया का अट्रैक्टिव क्लब है. It's too easy now. Easy हो जाएगा.
17-23 was Juve यार.
No, 17-23 like जो खेला है, जो current club है, it's one of the most attractive clubs right now also to watch. कौन है उसको most attractive?
वैसा बोल रहे हो? समझा. मतलब it is
outside world के लिए probably the most attractive Serie A club to watch. Atlanta, yes.
If Atalanta is the club, wait, AC Milan में हाँ 0 appearances. First और last club same है, current club.
Monza है current club. Like Monza है last और first. Should be very
so
easy
is
now.
this guy a midfielder?
Yes.
Then मेरे दिमाग में
Pessina.
Yes. Yeah, Pessina ही आ रहा है. और
हाँ,
has to be Pessina captain. Oh, nice one यार, ये मस्त था Pessina. Pasalic से Sartak. नहीं,
He's captain
Pessina.
at Monza, no?
Yeah, he's a boyhood Monza guy, no? He's a Monza local captain of current. Yeah, correct. Nice one. Actually, I like this.
Yeah, but see, Shivam ऐसा बेच, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे clubs हैं. If there are 100 loan appearances, it becomes a little. I think I had one of my friends. I'll get it. मेरे पास 2-3 European के भी है. It will be more attractive. But anyway, guys, I think
we should close the stream. It's gone on very long, but yeah. Again, Sarthak,
good one.
Membership. We have to do something about this. We'll work towards it for all the people who have taken up membership. कुछ तो करेंगे, don't worry. Don't have to feel compelled to become a member by any means. Late आ गया, but thanks for joining in here. Again, thanks to everyone. मतलब you guys tuning in is a big deal for us. Please, as I always say, like, share, and subscribe. Any closing thoughts from you guys, DJ bhai, Chintan bhai?
No, man. Finally, our route to Europe is set. One game. That's it. A road to final. Your road to Europa League. Cannot believe, being a Milan fan, I'm going to be very happy with a Europa League spot. But yes.
DJ, anything you want to say?
Guys, Fino alla fine, just play. Please play and pray for my team. My inner Yogesh is being channeled. Please make sure Juve make the top 4. Please. I pray, and hopefully God is great. It'll happen.
Yeah, and I think all I can say is कि भाई हम लोग शायद चैंपियंस लीग फाइनल पहुंच जाए पहले स्टेप 1 और स्कूडेटो भी अच्छा कर ले एज अ
closing thoughts actually should be with Param, given the way the week is going to be. What's your take? I want to put you on the spot. Signing off. Scudetto, Champions League. Do you see both happen? Do you see one happen? If one, which? Or do you see neither happen? Yeah, at this stage, you're so embedded with the club and that investment emotion happened. Your intuition is aligned. What's the sensation?
I think कुछ एक होगा. अभी like now maybe I'm overreacting in terms of the fatigue I'm seeing. I don't know, but मुझे लग रहा है एक तो आ जाएगा now. Whether that's the Scudetto, whether that's the Champions League remains to be seen. I think it's tough क्योंकि मतलब यार it's just an intense schedule. Let's see. What I can say is I've seen the team bounce back from these difficulties. Only this last week has been a bit tough. So maybe
that Orsolini goal didn't give you that sinking feeling, like as a fan when we have it, like that feeling,
It has given many fans that feeling. मुझे तो अभी तक नहीं, because I know Bologna में पहले भी हमने mess up किया था. If Chintan bhai remembers the Radu.
The howler that gave us the league title.
Yeah, I remember that myself also. Yeah,
exactly. So Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I still feel एक आएगा. Maybe क्या पता. That's the fan inside me. But
Okay,
it'll be
Okay,
tough. Like
so you don't see both happen for sure.
for sure नहीं. मतलब I feel fight
एक
देंगे
तो
दोनों के लिए
आएगा.
और आएगा एक.
Okay,
Fight
Parag,
दोनों के लिए.
And which
put,
one?
exactly, put in the spot. Which one do you want?
Which one do
Which
I
one do
want?
you think?
Champions League. I
You want?
want
Come
Champions.
on. Anyone would want Champions League. Come on.
Exactly.
But which one do you think?
देखो
More likely.
let me yeah objective
Jinx
answer एक
aside.
सेकंड में yeah objective answer एक सेकंड में देता हूँ. Want तो मुझे दोनों चाहिए. I'm greedy. As a fan you want everything, but objectively I think Scudetto आएगा. I think I have a feeling. Objectively very speaking, I'm not saying it's easy by any means.
The thing is, for you to realize that the Scudetto is an objective might be too late also in the Scudetto race because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to say that.
that has
I'm
to be
just,
decided this way. That's the irony of this whole thing. You
yeah,
can't
that's a
afford to
very
lose to Roma,
it's
lose to Barca, and then say now Scudetto is the objective. You get what I'm
no,
saying?
no,
Yeah.
no, no. I meant objectively speaking. I'm saying objective तो जीतने हैं दोनों होना चाहिए. That I know the club
Right.
wants to win both. I also want to win both. I feel
Right.
objectively speaking, analyzing थोड़ा अभी right on the spot. शायद आएगा तो आएगा सिर्फ Scudetto, which would be a bit gutting. Not to say that I don't want it, but at this stage, being in a Champions League semi-final, you want to, want to
And
win it.
guys, let's not forget, ideally, Scudetto 5 games or maybe a sixth because of the playoff. Champions League only 3 games to go. Like only 3 games. Like
Crazy.
you
Yeah.
win
Then,
the
see, this is
But which is very interesting since you said that so well because my gut kind of tells me Inter have a better shot at the Champions League
I
at
was
this
just
stage.
going to say I think Inter has a
Because
better
of
shot at Champions.
exact this reason, and I feel like their legs and their pace, midweek will perhaps show up. That's just the
my
feeling I get.
I just want to say, like, people are coming up with all these stats ki last time the final was in Munich, a new club. Every time the final has been in Champions League final has been in Munich, a new club has won the UCL. All these permutation combinations. One stat I will just pull up is ki the last time AC Milan won the Copa Italia, an Italian team, which was Milan themselves, won the Champions League. So banking on that. Banking
but
on
No,
you-
that.
I mean the year that Juve and Milan sacked their coaches, Inter won the Champions League. That also.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but by the
Could be.
too many things, and I feel because the run in with Inter in the Champions League has been Inter in the Champions League have been a completely different team, not conceding goals.
Yeah.
Serie A
Yeah.
mein they've been conceding against Monza also.
But
So I think
no,
that run in.
it's just
I
that
feel
this
like
Barca-
Orsolini would not happen in the Champions League, but I feel
But-
it
but
will happen
Vijay bhai-
again in the league.
But to be fair, against Bayern, there was a bit of careless, and this Barca attack is really good. I know.
But again, Bayern, it was not carelessness. I feel you're being harsh, of course, being a fan.
It was arrogance,
You won
yeah.
you won
Yeah.
the first leg. You have to just grind out a draw. That's what I feel. You just didn't need to lose that game. I think you just played that way. It's just that
And also,
Bayern,
also this Inter team, Chins, I feel they are better chasing than defending.
Yeah,
What I
I-
mean is defending the score, they're better chasing a target than having to defend the score. I think then that's when the arrogance creeps in, like this is done.
yeah,
you
we
know?
can shut shop. We can shut shop.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this can't happen
They can't.
against Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. Even when you're talking, I think why I'm getting this gut little feeling that I think Inter might just go for might just sneak in the Champions League. I think they're more dedicated, more aware about the Champions League. We need to win this league. Title जीत चुके हो. I think they will all go for the Champions League. वो ज़्यादा alert रहेंगे. With Roma also, if you're 1-0 up, as DJ said, half your mind will be now, okay, चलो, we are 1-0 up. They might switch off for 10 seconds because Barca पे आ जाएगा and you might concede. So, I feel like Champions League might 3 games, but only 3 games. And guys, let's not forget, in the next 2 games, you might just have to win one and not lose the second one. So out of the 3 games, you have to draw.
Win two.
Yeah, it's
Easier-
like winning
easier.
2 games and drawing one.
Obviously easier said than done. But I mean, I'm glad to see my rivals more optimistic in general. But I'm also optimistic. I'm just glad to
Yeah,
see the
like you
rivals.
said, Param, actually, guys, at this stage, there are no calculations in the Champions League. Nothing
Yeah.
is certain. But it's
ये भी Adrish
but-
भी stats डाल रहा है. No manager has lost the final. UCL final be specific because Italiano would say otherwise to you.
Adrish is only saying this because he doesn't know how many Juve managers have lost the finals.
Yeah. Bye, Adrish.
And by the way, Italiano only lost 2 back-to-back Conference League finals. So, वो तो-
Exactly. या वो रेफरी का वो पूरा ड्रामा अभी चालू हो गया, वो तो अलग है. बारसा माइट एक्चुअली गेट रेस्ट यार, लाइक इट इज व्हाट
Now
इट इज गाइस,
just
बट अगेन थैंक बोलो
call up,
अर्चित भाई.
call up Papa Perez. Tell him please field your team. At least make them run a lot. Yeah.
क्रिश भाई कोई कोई गेम खेल लो यार वीकेंड पे, मतलब कुछ दूसरी टीम को बुला के कोई फ्रेंडली खेल लो यार, ऐसे थोड़ी ही चलता है यार. मतलब संडे को ही खेलना, अगर खेल रहे हो तो संडे को खेलना, सैटरडे को मत खेलना. पोप को
Yeah,
आप
but
भी रिस्पेक्ट दे दो यार, ऐसे चलता है तो. रिसेंट ईयर्स लिखा, हाँ. एंड ऑल्सो या आई थिंक होपिंग फॉर अ ग्रेट गेम अगेन. थैंक यू गाइस फॉर ट्यूनिंग इन. we'll close the stream, बहुत लंबा चल गया ये. Please do like, share and subscribe. Please subscribe to Ajay Bhai's channel, Ajay Menon Talk Sports. He's also on his own rise. He's creating great content. And we'll see you guys. को video आता रहेगा. We are planning a video on Qualiarella, which DJ Bhai and Ajay Bhai will be working on, and Yogesh as well. And that's a whole different story. These guys will narrate for you, and I'm sure they'll bring a brilliant video. बाकी content आता रहेगा. Serie A देखो weekend पे है. GXR पे आएगा. Serie B की रेस अच्छी चल रही है, सब अच्छा चल रहा है. So do watch Italian football, and we'll see you guys soon. Yeah, we'll see you guys very soon. So ciao ciao.
ciao ciao.